Last time on Square Roots, we follow some robed men, meet some chocobo garbage orphans, and fix a windmill. Also, we spend some time playing cards. I gotta say, this whole stopping Sephiroth thing really doesn't feel that urgent. Oh well, let's play with Moogles!
And welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I'm joined by Matthew Van Sant.
Hello.
Junani Brandon.
Junani?
Isn't it Junani Brandon?
He was doing
just
like a
Junani. It's called a portmanteau. And Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa! Oh, I'm not Vanasty anymore. I finally got out of that hole. That's exciting.
It'll be back. And this is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs, one chunker at a time. And this is part 3 of our Final Fantasy VII Rebirth series.
What's happening in this game? What even? What?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get to talk about my playthrough of the last chunker, so let's start now. We begin in calm.
In the grasslands.
I guess if you want to do like Johnny's hot drops of your impressions of the last chunker, we could do that at the start of the quest log.
Sure.
Yeah. But before we get into that, is there any hot gaming news that you guys would like to share? It's been kind of a light news week, I think. I put something in there, but not sure if you guys have anything.
I got nothing.
Johnny, anything? Matt?
That game with almost naked protagonist is apparently better. It's apparently not bad.
Sword?
Yes.
There's a big toxic...
I mean, you can like a game that has a hot lady in it. It's fine. Like, you don't have to make it your entire personality and be like, no, my politic, you won't like this game because the lady's attractive. Like, I don't know. Is it a good game? Is it narrated by Glenn Beck?
Apparently it is. Like, Stellar Blade is what it's called. And I saw today that it had gotten more pre-orders than any other PlayStation exclusive on the PS5.
Wow.
Maybe I misread that headline, but it's got a lot of pre-orders, I guess. And I've seen a lot of people playing it on Twitch, so. And it's only got a demo. People are doing a bunch of playthroughs of the demo. Apparently the demo is real good. So that's cool. I haven't played it. Maybe I'll check it out, though. I saw some videos of it. Looked pretty neat. The lady doesn't have to be naked. I think I'd be uncomfortable if she was naked the whole time.
I believe it's a costume. It's like a skin-colored costume.
Yeah, she looks so young, but she's actually 1,000 years old, so it's okay. It's a phebophilia. It's legal in my state.
I was watching a streamer play it, who's a real chill guy, and he seemed to be enjoying the game, but the comments turned so toxic that he flat out was like, you know what? I don't think I want anything to do with this.
That's pretty funny. Good for him. Another piece of hot gaming news. Hellblade 2 had a big preview recently for game journalists, and they got to see how the game was made and how they render all the realistic graphics, and they got to have a hands-on demo of it, and apparently it's going to be really good. Like, maybe one of the best-looking games of all time.
Well,
wow.
They've been, like, previewing that game for 5 or 6 years now, which seems like a lot.
At least.
Because it was either 2018 or 2019.
I think the first Hellblade came out in 2017, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And it was before the Series X came out, for sure.
Yeah, there was a video or a trailer for that game that came out 2 or 3 years ago that looked amazing, but at the same time it was like, can they actually make the game look that good, and apparently they kind of have. The first impressions that I was reading today said that the game looks incredibly realistic, and they're able to render so much in a scene at the same time. Like, you're in these really intense battles, and there's all this chaos happening around you, fires and people getting killed, and apparently the performance is amazing in Unreal Engine 5. So people are getting pretty hyped. Yeah, and the game is a day one Game Pass game, which they think could be a pretty good deal for old Microsoft.
Hi, I'm Frank from Microsoft. Just wanted to give you your $5,000, Jim. Oh God, are you recording right now?
Yeah, I'm carrying water for all the game business dudes again.
You're just another paid game journo.
Yeah, I'm just a plant. Do you know what? This whole podcast has led up to this moment where I shill Hellblade 2. I've been paid every month leading up to this.
Wow. I mean, that's a good gig.
Yeah, I
contract
mean, I
is-
can't even be mad about that.
They pay me in cans of beefaroni.
Well,
I would go for
you know.
beef
Better than money?
ravioli. Beef ravioli is
But then you
better.
fed it to a horse, and your friend asked you to take his in-laws on a nice carriage ride around town, but the horse was farting so bad that you had to turn around, and then he couldn't get the rye bread up into the house.
What?
What are you talking about?
And Jerry
I-
mugged an old lady.
I feel like he's doing. Remember when Steve Carell was doing improv in The Office, and then he had a gun.
Oh, yeah. And he whispers into that guy's ear, and the guy just does this. He's like, he told me he had a gun. That's so good. Anyways, I think that's all the hot gaming news we have. Like I said, pretty light news week.
Well, it was
Let's
April
move-
Fools. Everyone had their.
Oh, did you guys have a fake game announcement that really pissed you off?
There's a real one
I
that Square
ignored
Enix is
everything.
making pet accessories.
Is that real or fake?
I believe that's real.
Somebody posted that in our podcast group chat today that said they were really excited about it.
Yeah. You can get
Like
a little Buster
accessories
Sword.
for my actual pet?
Yeah.
like a
Yeah, like-
bandana or like a stuffed Buster sword for them to chew on.
Or like a
Oh.
little slime cat house thing.
Aw. Porky, would you like to live in a slime cat house?
I already do, you disgusting slob.
Oh.
All right, if this podcast has reached the point where we're doing voices for each other's animals, I think we got to end it now. This is the last episode.
I
This
mean,
is
we all do
done.
voices for our own animals anyway.
I don't because I'm.
Oh,
an
you don't
adult.
do you don't do
Oh,
a voice when you talk to
I've
your pets?
heard him do a voice for Dory before, so
Yeah,
No,
for
you
sure.
haven't. That's a lie.
yeah, you love Dory.
John, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How'd you level up?
Well, I wasn't here last week, but I'm here this week.
Obviously.
We're
Anyway.
happy to see you.
Canada's back on the show.
Back on the show. I'm allowed back in. I got through your border. It's great. I have been playing. I don't know. Okay, so I got intoxicated, and then I asked Jim a bunch of questions on the group chat, but he was asleep. And then I bought because the next day I found it installed on my PC. Dragon's Dogma 2.
Ooh, have you played it?
Yeah, a little bit, but it's maybe a little too much like this game. So it's like I could play this game where I'm picking up all these crafting elements
okay.
in a big wide open world. But instead of having party members, you have everyone else's pawns. And so
I
course,
think that's super cool. That's like really neat.
all the pawns that my friends make are so horny. Like
Matt and
there's a-
Vanessa, do you know how the pawn system works in Dragon's Dogma 2?
I don't
So
know how
you can-
it works, but I did see someone made a little Alex Horn and a Greg Davies, so that was fun.
Yeah, you can essentially you can recruit other player characters.
not their player
As-
characters, their pawns.
Oh, I thought it was their player characters.
No, so the pawns
As
are
party
like
members.
you make your own companion, and that companion can venture between universes, i.e., when you're not playing, that companion can be recruited into your friends' parties and gain experience and learn about quests and stuff. So if they do a quest that you haven't done, they'll tell you how it works and be like, "Oh, go over. I think you need to go over here." And
Ooh,
stuff.
that's really cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
And you can make them like super hot. Like
I've seen some of the characters that people have created, and you can basically, if you have the patience and the know-how, I can't draw, I can't do a face, but people have made some, like, they look like one-to-one lookalikes of celebrities. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, I tried making me, and I guess I was a little too intoxicated, and it looks nothing like me. I wish I could redo my face.
Who does it look like?
Looks like a guy I used to chat with a million years ago, so that doesn't really help you.
Oh, maybe that's a Freudian thing.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know. It's not someone I think
I
about
do
that
like that
much.
Johnny's drunk activities are the same as Johnny's sober activities, like buying a new game and building a
been
character and
trying-
character creation.
But I've been trying not to. Trying not to buy games. And I still
I've been
did.
circling Dragon's Dogma 2 since it came out. I might pull the trigger and just get it after I finish Banished.
I've been surprised that Johnny hasn't been playing that new Yakuza game that everyone's talking about.
Well, again, I've been trying not to buy games, so I guess
Yeah,
I could be intoxicated
Speaking
again.
of that, John, did you play the first Like a Dragon?
Yes, it's great.
Did you beat it?
No, I got about a third of the way through, maybe. It's very long.
That's about how far I got too, and I got stuck at a boss that I just like couldn't beat. But it's super fun, and I've been thinking about picking up the second one.
Yeah, I think I'll wait till I finish the first one.
Yeah, me too.
But I feel like that's a game I'd play for the podcast for sure and enjoy.
Yeah, me too.
But it feels like work.
I know. I kind of want to save it for the show if we decide to ever do it.
Why not? It's a turn-based RPG.
It is it's an amazing turn-based RPG where one of your characters is a homeless man and you can summon pigeons to attack your opponents.
No, but
It's
it is
amazing.
It
These
is
South Park vibes.
No.
No,
It is-
and
I
no,
agree.
it's way different.
He's
Vanessa
very
and I are
simple.
putting our foot down. No, like a dragon.
It's
I can't
not
put my
making
foot down. It's super insensitive to bring that up.
You have 2 feet, Vanessa.
Yeah,
one of the
that's
party
true.
characters is a woman, and she can pull a champagne bottle out of her purse and hit people with it, or just hit people with her purse.
It's true.
Pretty great.
I mean, there's different classes, and each
Yeah.
class is like silly. Oh, it's great. It's very, very fun.
It's pretty awesome.
But so he's homeless, but like a whole part of the game is about how people treat homeless people like shit and how they live. Because you're homeless at the beginning, and it's much better than David Cage homeless, where
Yeah, there's a whole period of the game where you are also a homeless person trying to scrounge money, and people treat you like shit. It's actually pretty interesting.
yeah, it's not a bad game, and it definitely there are jokes about homeless people. I'm not going to make that. I'm not going to avoid that. That's not great, but it also really tries to make you empathize with homeless people. It's trying to have it both ways.
One of the special attacks of the homeless man is to belch. Or no, it's to drink liquor and then spit fire. I
Yes.
think at an enemy, which
You're not
is a very strong
Jim.
attack.
Stop describing the homeless attack.
Yeah, I might be ruining.
yeah,
This
but
is
it's-
not, none of
I'm
this
not
is
selling-
convincing.
I'm not
Convincing
selling
me.
the game.
Oh,
very well.
you're a woman and you can hit people with your purse? Well,
It's a good
sounds
game.
like grade A material.
It's also played as a joke that that's what her attacks are. Like
Well, that makes it
yeah.
okay.
So
As long as you're winking at your misogyny, it's all right, boys?
So I was driving to work. This is the last
Yeah,
part of my
dude.
level up. I was driving to work and I was singing along to music with the top down. It was a sunny day. It was a nice spring day. And I look forward and the guy in front of me is recording me through his like driver's side mirror. I could see his phone like pointed right at me through his mirror. And I like looked at him and he's like smiling and waving. I guess he really liked my singing. But how do I
Johnny's gonna
find
go viral.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I go viral,
Look at this idiot.
I want residuals for
Look
that.
at this dumb bitch.
But I tried Googling or not Googling in TikTok.
Car,
I tried to I don't know if you ever
What were you
tried
singing?
searching. It was either Disco 2000 by Pulp or Dare to Be Stupid by Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh.
Hey, if it was Dare to Be Stupid, then you kind of deserve to be filmed. I mean, that's pretty epic.
I don't think they could hear
Yeah.
what I was singing going like 60 miles an hour on the highway.
Oh, yeah.
They probably
Were
couldn't
you
hear
doing
my
the
music.
driving crooner where they got up right up next to you?
Yeah. Well, you have to be at the right next to them or it doesn't work.
They gotta be right next to you. Right next to you.
Anyway, so I tried Googling like convertible and Vancouver, not Googling, but searching in TikTok. And TikTok has the worst search function I've ever seen.
It's terrible. I used it for the first time yesterday, actually, and it's awful.
And we both used it for the first time yesterday. That's funny.
That's weird.
So I looked up Vancouver, and it was just all tweets about or posts about how awful homeless people are. Like it was just like, look what this homeless
gross.
person is doing. Well, can you believe it? It's like, yeah, they're homeless, you fucking asshole. Good. I just want to punch them in their faces. They don't appreciate homeless people like I do because they haven't played Like a Dragon.
Exactly. I don't
You
know.
don't
they
appreciate
know how
them
hard
enough
it
to
is.
call them unhoused people, which is the
Yeah,
preferred
you're right,
terminology
you're right.
these
Sorry,
days.
Unhoused people. Sorry, Vanessa. Anyway,
Yeah.
Vanessa, let's see you get canceled when you tell us
Okay.
about how you leveled up.
Well, I've been playing a game where you play as a gay, unhoused person with AIDS, and their special attack
Wow.
is to cut their own
Living with
hand
HIV?
in- yeah.
Oh, Vanessa is getting canceled.
This sounds like some kind of Ben Shapiro beginning of a bit.
Yeah. This is Daily Wire, the video game.
Yeah. No, I made it up to cancel myself. You can't cancel me. I canceled myself.
Oh.
Checkmate libs.
We'll see who cancels who.
Hey, apparently, just by being a hot woman in the world, I'm already owning the libs because they hate that. I don't understand this new attitude of like liberal people hate attractive women.
Is that a new thing?
Well, that
It
lady
seems to be.
from Euphoria wants to
Yeah,
take her top
Sydney
off,
Sweeney.
and we're
They
so
like wrote
mad.
this whole thing about it. They're like, Sydney
Why
Sweeney
would-
proves that liberals like they're losing their mind because she's a conventionally attractive woman.
America's back because hot blondes with big cans are popular again. Unlike
Finally!
Jennifer
Which they-
Lawrence, Scarlett
Yeah.
Johansson,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie. Jesus.
Like everyone. Also, like, isn't women being more exposed a liberal thing? Like,
Yeah, but
conservatives want women to.
if you
Well,
have
it
brain
depends
worms,
on the context. If they're more exposed because they choose to be and they don't care about what men think, that's a world that liberals want. But
Right,
if they're
that's
more
bad.
exposed and
Because they're
it
being
gives
exploited.
me a boner,
Yeah.
then that's the good kind.
Yeah.
can't get
Right.
hard if a woman's not being exploited.
I want a woman. I like to AI women into white dresses in fields, unless I'm horny, in which case I want to see their big rack.
I watched
Right.
a great video about. Oh, sorry, I don't want to take over
That's all right.
your level up.
Save it for your level up, Jim.
I'll save it for mine.
I watched a couple things. I watched a documentary on Netflix called Race to the Summit, which is about solo
Racist?
freehand mountain climbing, and kind of follows these two guys who were attempting to set world records for the fastest time to climb like the north face of the Matterhorn and all these other mountains. If you in any way suffer from vertigo or fear of heights, it is a very bad thing to watch because
I won't be watching it.
Yeah, it's a lot of footage of dudes just hanging by their fingertips on the edge of a mountain. But if you're someone who is trying to motivate themselves to learn how to climb up and down stairs, it might be something that, you can take some inspiration from. And
Let me
I-
derail this podcast for a very long song as I, Mother Superior, sing to Vanessa. Climb every staircase.
Oh. As a kid, I always found that scene like way too long. in the
It's so
movie.
boring.
Like,
It's so
why?
long.
Why is this happening? Bring back the goat herd.
Where's the puppets?
Bring the puppets. I also started watching Feud, Capote versus the Swans.
Ooh.
This is the second season of the show Feud, which is a Ryan Johnson show.
Ryan Murphy?
Ryan Murphy, yes, I apologize.
I used to say
And-
that the guy from the first season of Feud was a friend of the podcast because he followed me on Twitter, but I don't use Twitter anymore, really.
Oh.
It's called
Well-
X now.
Yeah.
Fucking libtard.
I believe it's called X, formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's how it is in every news article. Yeah.
So irritating. Because you can't just put X. You could be talking about anything. No one will know what you're talking about.
His son is named X, but also like weird characters.
I thought it was,
But he calls him X.
dumb. So Capote versus the Swans is about Truman Capote and his feud with all of these sort of New York socialites who were his friends. But then as his literary career was kind of flagging, he tried to revitalize it by writing essentially a series of tell-all articles for the New Yorkers about these women's lives and their secret affairs and scandals and things like that. And then was ostracized from the society that he'd worked so hard to get into.
Yeah, before that, he was well known for being like one of the more toxic elements of that whole culture. Like
Yeah.
bullying outsiders. Even there's a famous, like, I believe it's a murder-suicide case where he was well known to be there was a woman who came from a poor background but married rich, and apparently he relentlessly bullied her. Wow. To the point where I think she was accused of murdering her husband, actually.
Yeah, and the show gets into that for sure.
It's really interesting.
That woman is played by Demi Moore in the show. It's a
Oh,
super
that's
stacked
super
cast.
cool.
Yeah, so
wow, Demi
it
Moore.
has Naomi Watts plays kind of the
What?
lead woman.
Speaking
and
of hot blonde actors,
she's a brunette in it, but if you can get past
Oh.
that, her performance is amazing. It's also got Diane Lane, Chloe Sevigny, Callista Flockhart, Molly Ringwald. So it's like
Wow.
it has all of these pretty fantastic actresses, and then Tom Hollander, who's a British actor.
Spider-Man?
not Holland.
Yeah, Tom Holland.
Hollander.
Tom Hollander. He was like Lord Beckett in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. That's the
Yeah, he's a great actor. Actually, I
He's
love him.
fantastic, and his
Yeah.
Capote is great because
Love when he does those flips
He-
and flips and
he
spins
plays
and
Truman
spider
Capote.
sense goes off.
So is
Yeah,
it, so
yeah.
He plays Truman
how-
Capote. Wow,
how's
Yeah.
good
how's
for
his
plays
him. What a
Truman
showcase
Capote.
for that guy.
How's his full
is.
voice?
and
And J.
it's
Jonah
like
Jameson's like, bring me pictures of Truman Capote.
and Capote would be, if listeners don't know what he was like, he was this
He's
kind
like
of
this.
small, like
Yeah, he talks like this. Hi.
Yeah.
like it could be very, very easy to just like do a parody performance, but he really humanizes him, and also it doesn't romanticize him. Like basically he's kind of a piece of shit, and that's what
Yeah.
the show portrays him as, but
Good,
in a
because
way
he was a giant piece of shit.
yeah.
Dude,
But
so
I'm
they
enjoying
don't.
it.
So it's sort of like he's like a quieter Louis Anderson.
Yeah, that's a great way of describing it.
Yeah,
actually.
he's like a Upper West Side New York Louis Anderson.
Yeah. And then it also has Joseph Mantello, who I don't know if y'all know that name, but he was in Angels in America. He's a fantastic stage
Oh.
actor for the most part, and then he's been on TV a little bit, but he's just great in it. Like
Oh,
his
his
great
man,
presence.
which is the guy that that was in that Pee Wee Herman movie, and Pee Wee was like had a big crush on him? Joe
Are you thinking
Manganiello?
of Joe Manganiello?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
who played
that's someone
Deadshot,
else.
or wanted to play Deadshot, I think, or one of those
Played
sniper.
Deathstroke in like
Deathstroke.
in like an end credits scene.
Yeah, like a post-credits deal.
He probably would have been pretty good at that. Oh, what could have been?
Magic Mike, famous Joe Manganiello.
Yeah, he was in True Blood. He was the werewolf.
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 I didn't do my warm-ups, and so I'm mumbling all of my words.
You should be talking more like Truman Capote.
Vanessa, how does Tom Hollander's performance compare to Philip Seymour Hoffman's?
I don't know if I ever actually saw Hoffman's performance.
It was good. Oh, yeah, it was really great. But like Truman Capote's voice is so unique and distinct. It's hard to do it without you're seeming like without being cartoony. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
'Cause
Yeah.
It's so high pitched. Like it's so like this and quiet,
Right.
and he has such a prominent vocal fry when he talks. Like
Yeah.
it's hard to do it without seeming like you're parodying something else.
Yeah, and I think he pulls it off, and Ryan Murphy has a tendency towards camp anyway.
Yeah. Oh
and
my God. That's the understatement of the year.
Yeah. Despite a couple of moments, I think that it does a pretty good job of keeping it like grounded in reality.
Where's that? Is that streaming somewhere? Or
Yeah,
how
it's
are you
on
watching it?
Hulu.
Oh, okay. Is it like an FX production?
Yeah, and I think it's just
Okay, I'll
10
check that out.
episodes, so it's worth watching.
Is it an hour, half hour?
Yeah, about like 45 minutes. I think it aired on
Okay.
television. I can't promise that it will like stay good through the end because I'm not finished yet, but I'm liking it a lot so far. The thing that really has struck me, I was texting with a friend about it, and she had the same experience, is it shows how much people smoked everywhere, like, and in restaurants, and they're
God,
always
yeah.
eating and smoking at the same time, and it's like,
gross.
it looks so gross, and just must have been so miserable. It's like, how could they even taste what they were eating? Like, you go into these
Yeah, but keep
places
in mind
and
that
it's
the
just-
food was awful back then. So
Yeah, maybe that's
Yeah,
part
you
of
almost
it.
wanted to smoke.
Yeah, but they have these great sort of all of these fantastic food shots, and I think I'm about to make a crazy claim here. I think Gus Van Sant directs all of the episodes.
Oh, that's interesting.
It is. Let me see if that's true, because it seems like something that I saw and I was like, that can't be true, but I think it is. I'm gonna Google just to be sure.
now I have "Come On, Eileen" stuck in my head.
And whose fault is that?
You know I'm the
Come on,
dean.
I'm Dean.
Yeah.
Yes, Gus Van Sant directs a lot of it.
Wow, Gus Van Sant, famous director.
Yeah. For things like Johnny, help us
Good.
out here.
Good Will Hunting.
Brick.
He did the Psycho remake.
Yeah, the Psycho remake.
Oh yeah, he did that weird shot-for-shot Psycho remake.
He did My Own Private Idaho, starring Keanu Reeves.
My own private Idaho.
He did a bunch
did
of
Milk.
music videos.
He did Elephant, which is one of his more famous movies. Elephant.
Yeah. I think that he actually did kind of veer off into doing a lot of music videos because he just felt like he had more artistic freedom in that or something.
Yeah, he's one of those auteur guys.
Yeah. So I mean, but he's good. Like it's a well-directed show. And
Oh yeah, he's a talented dude.
So yeah, I think it's worth checking out, and great to see all of these women in these kind of powerhouse roles too.
That's cool. I might check that out. I like Truman Capote stuff. I used to work in my previous corporate life, my vice president that I reported to was obsessed with Truman Capote. like she talked about him all that. She named her firstborn son Truman.
Wow.
After Truman Capote, yeah.
I've never read
Totally.
In Cold Blood, and I feel like I really need to after watching this.
It's actually really good. And it takes place in, it's like, I'm from Kansas. It's kind of like required reading if you're from Kansas, because that whole case
yeah.
is a Kansas case. Yeah. It's a very Kansas book.
All right, well, that's my end of my level up. Other than that, I just play Final Fantasy VII, I sleep a whole bunch, and that's it. I also work sometimes.
You've almost caught up to me in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
You're finished with Final
you're
Fantasy
just-
VII
you're just a-
Rebirth. I don't even know what catching up to you would mean. Finishing the game,
Well,
I guess.
I mean, you're at chapter 12, right?
Yeah.
And there's only 14 chapters, so
Yeah. I
getting there.
have a lot of, like, miscellany to do, which I'm going to try to
Oh,
do before I move on.
Like dumps a dump truck of miscellaneous stuff on you in chapter 12.
So, Jim, how did you
Yeah.
level up?
Well, referencing what I started to interrupt you with earlier, there's a great Eddie Burback video. Eddie Burback is a YouTuber. Vanessa, I know you are familiar with him because he did the video where he ate at every Margaritaville in the country.
Yes, I like his
And
stuff a lot.
Yeah, he did the video where he talked about ghost kitchens and Mr. Beast, which was a really big video for him. He recently released a video where he bought the Apple VR thing.
Oh, yeah,
What's it
I watched
called?
this too.
Yes, yeah, it's great.
I forget what
But
it's
in the-
called.
what is the Apple VR thing called, John? Apple
Vision
something.
Pro or
Pro.
something?
Vision
Vision
Pro.
something?
Yeah. So he bought that. In the video, he goes to the Apple store to buy it, and he's like, "Can you give me a bag that's like really nondescript?" Because he felt embarrassed buying it. And they gave him like this big Apple bag where you can see what was in it. But he's like, "I wanted to try it," and it's like it made him an avatar of his face to use when he FaceTimes people calling it, and it looks like a child molester. Like, it looks terrible. And then he's like, he gets really into using it, and he's like, maybe I'll venture into like AI companions. And he's like, he brings up this AI thing, and it's like this Asian girl talking to you about how she as an AI construct can fulfill every emotional need that he has. And
disturbing.
it gets really creepy.
It's super creepy. The ads are like, "Are you looking for love like I am?"
Yeah. And then he gets worried that like his AI girlfriend is seeing other people. It's actually a really funny video. I would suggest checking it out. Otherwise, I went and saw Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire, I think is what it's called,
I
in the
think
theaters.
that when there's an X, you're supposed to say cross.
Godzilla, is it? Are you supposed to say Godzilla
That's
Cross
definitely
Kong?
what they do in games and like animes.
Okay, I saw Godzilla Cross Kong, the New Empire, and actually, let me get this out of the way. It's super dumb. A lot, I would say everything after the 30-minute mark doesn't make a fucking lick of sense. But the movie is super fun. And like I saw it in maybe like a half full theater, and people were cheering, people were audibly laughing, people were clapping at the big moments. It was a super fun theater experience. And I really enjoyed it. And also this movie, for the first time, because Dan Stevens is in it, this dude is a goddamn movie star. Like he is one of the most charming men on screen you can have like in your movie. He is
The Guest is a great example of that, where like he oozes
Yeah.
charisma, but also like he's such a good actor that he's able to take that and twist it to where it's like creepy charisma. It's
In this
such
one-
a good movie.
In this one, there's no underlying creepiness or threat. He is just straight up oozing charisma all over this movie. And from the second one he's on the screen, I was like, God damn, this guy. I just want to watch a movie with him in it. It's great.
I feel like he's kind of undercast, and I'm not sure
I
why.
think so,
I don't know if
too.
he's.
But
like-
he's also in like four big movies this year. He's
he?
in Godzilla Cross Kong. He's in the Vampire Ballerina movie that's coming out next month.
Haven't heard of that.
I was
called
just
Annabelle.
thinking about how Jim hasn't been talking about that movie as much as I would think that Jim would be talking
Oh,
about
I'm
that movie.
super excited about it. It comes out April 19th, the vampire movie. Got a huge cast in that movie, by the way. And he's in Cuckoo, which is a neon horror movie that's coming out in latter part of May, I think. And then another one he's got later in the year, but he's got a lot of credits this year. I feel like his star is starting to rise a little bit, which is great.
Didn't he replace Justin Roiland in the what is the name of that
Did he?
like Rick and Morty style
Rick and-
show on Hulu?
Is it like
Yes.
Solar Opposites?
Solar Opposites,
Yes.
which is
Yeah.
a much better show than you would think. And yeah, he replaced Justin Roiland, and they barely address it. He's just like, "Oh, I'm British now," and that's fucking it. It was
Oh
I
my
really
kind
God.
of
funny.
appreciate
They-
that.
It was really good.
They let him have his British accent in Godzilla Cross Kong, and goddamn, that makes him that takes his natural charm and multiplies it times 10.
Yeah.
What did he get his start
the-
on? What's that show? Oh, Downton
He started
Abbey,
on
right?
Downton Abbey, and he kind of
did,
got
yeah.
flack because he did that thing where, he's sort of the breakout star, heartthrob, and then left the show kind of
Yeah.
earlier than
Yeah.
made sense for the character.
Was he
Pulled a
Thomas?
Clooney.
Doesn't he die?
was
Isn't that how they
Matthew.
explain it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't he go to war and die?
Well, that might be like them writing him
Yeah.
off after he left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it wasn't
Yeah,
going to
I
war. He
didn't
just
mean he
died in
really
a car
died, Jim.
crash.
Well, no, I meant like he didn't die on screen. It was just like, oh, did you
Yeah.
hear this character died?
No, he just dies in a car crash. He's like,
What
oh,
is the
car
famous
crash.
example of that from the what's the show? It's
The
like
first
somebody's-
automobile, and then it
somebody's
exploded.
plane went down.
Yeah, so I would suggest checking out Godzilla Cross Kong. Super fun. You know what? Seeing a big stupid blockbuster is fun. Like those are fun movies. They're not good. I wouldn't call it good, but I call it super fun to watch.
There
I
seems
don't know.
to be
I
like
don't know why you wouldn't call it good.
50
Like, what's not good about something that's really fun to watch? Is
Hasn't
it like
there been like 50 Godzilla movies in the past 5 years?
Like 4 or 5? No, 3.
Okay.
3.
I don't
Godzilla
remember
versus
when
Kong. Godzilla
King of
minus
Monsters
1.
came out?
Godzilla King of Monsters came out in like 2017 or
2019 King of Monsters. So
Oh,
yeah,
2019. Yeah.
four Godzilla movies. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a bunch. But
Remember,
yeah.
Godzilla versus Kong came out during COVID and was released
It did.
direct to Max, HBO Max.
You know, I
So it
only
was
saw that
kind of
movie
encouraging,
once.
I bet, for them to see that this movie has done really well this last
Yeah,
weekend.
it's really
worldwide.
interesting. I only saw that movie once, and the new one doesn't reference it a ton, but when it does, it's in really big moments. And I was like, God, I wish I would have watched that before. So maybe,
I like that movie a lot. Like
I've only seen it once.
It's what you're describing. Like it's not like it's got fucking jaw-dropping acting or like a particularly like, great plot, but it's just fun as shit. I've watched it like 10 times.
Also, the lead actress in that movie, Rebecca Hall, I have a crush on Rebecca Hall. She's one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen, I think. And
libs
one of the
hate
best
her.
actors I've ever seen. She's great.
Yeah, she was
my
in the
lo-
last one too, right? Yeah,
She was. Yeah. My last little level up piece that I'll talk about is I recently started playing a game called Banishers: The Ghosts of New Eden, which
You're
is
going
a
to claim
Dontnod
that this
game.
is a good game again, but its title is so
Yeah.
stupid it can't possibly
Oh,
be
it
good.
has a terrible title. It had terrible marketing. But
I
this
watched a
game-
review that said it was kind of meh, and there was like a kind of a big story reason why that I don't want to get into because you clearly
Yeah,
have
I don't know
done
about that. I don't really know anything about the story, but I'm maybe 4 or 5 hours in, and I'm really enjoying it. The game is super well written and well constructed. The world feels very lived in, and the characters, like the two main characters that you play as, the writing makes it seem like they have known each other for 10, 15, 20 years, however long that they've known each other. And the two main characters are also lovers, like they're in a relationship, and they definitely have a rapport, and the game is great at emphasizing that, and
That's cool.
And even small character moments, and it's super fun to play. I like the mechanics of it. It has a great upgrade system. I wouldn't call it an open world game, but it's kind of a big sandbox. It's got a really good fast travel system. And the mechanics of it are really super fun, and the world opens up in very natural ways. I'm really enjoying it. And I like the whole ghost thing. Like, I just don't find that interesting or scary or compelling. But I do find the characters interesting enough to keep playing it. And so I'm excited to continue with it.
I like Ghosts.
And I picked it up because it was on sale. It was like $20 off in the PlayStation Spring sale. So, if you want to grab so far, pretty good game for $20 off, check it out on PlayStation. Matt, how did you level up?
Well, first I did a real life level up.
Ooh.
I went and saw a baseball game yesterday. That's right. It was my Tampa Bay Rays versus last year's World Series champions and my old hometown team, the Texas Rangers. I don't have a lot to say about it. I went to a baseball game. It was a good time. The one funny thing that happened is that, listen, I'll be honest with you. The game was pretty early. We got there pretty early. I drank a lot before we got into the thing, and then I drank a lot more while we were there. And so then we left and went back to the bar that we had first went to order an Uber. It was raining really, really hard. Thankfully, we had disposable ponchos, which meant that my feet and shorts got very soaked, but my top half, nice and dry.
I'm glad your top hat was okay.
I'm glad your jug stayed dry.
We went back to the bar next to the Trop, which is called Ferg's. And
Fergie Fergs.
Yep. And my buddy went and grabbed another pitcher of beer, another bucket of beers, and I ran out into the rain and grabbed some empanadas. And we stuffed our faces like animals.
Empanadas, y'all.
Yeah, they were delicious. I ordered 3 different kinds of empanada. Couldn't tell the difference between any of them. I could have given me fucking 5 of the same thing, and I would not have been able to tell the difference. Anyway, the funny thing was we finally, after a little while, after the game ended, we ordered an Uber. We went and got in the Uber, and as we're driving through the streets of St. Petersburg on the way home, I glance over at my friend, and he is just fucking completely passed out next to me in this Uber. Arms down, head almost between his knees. He was like bent over so far. And I'm looking at him like laughing to myself, like, look at this fucking idiot. And the next thing I remember is him tapping me on the shoulder and saying, we got to get out of this Uber. We're at your house.
Amazing.
Look at this idiot sleeping in the...
That's real male privilege passing out in an Uber.
Yeah,
It definitely is.
I've slept in a lot of Ubers. I'm glad I didn't order
Me
this
too.
one because they'll ding his star rating and not mine.
Why would they
I watched,
ding it? You don't have to talk to anybody?
Yeah, they really
I've gotten
liked it.
dinged for it
Passenger
before.
rating.
Some people don't like it. I watched a documentary. Le Gasp.
What is it?
It
It's
is kind of
called-
Legasp, but that's more like Jim's thing and my thing, not your thing.
Yeah.
You guys don't watch documentaries so much as you watch true crime reality TV and call it documentaries. Anyway.
Don't.
Anyway, I watched a documentary. It was called World War II HD in color.
That
Road
sounds like
to
real
victory.
That's like real dad shit. That's
Yeah,
on
that's
the
like
Dad
Dad
Network.
puts on the History Channel shit.
Yeah.
I am a dad. Is that?
Yeah,
do you
it's
guys
true.
not know that?
Yeah.
I have 2 almost teenage children. One's teenage,
Right.
one's almost teenage. Okay, so anyway, it's really good. If you haven't watched it, it's on Netflix. If you've got any interest in World War II, if you kind of want to know more about the details of the battles and the politics and the rise of Hitler and what happened with Japan and the reasons why America chose to bomb Japan and how Hitler kind of fell apart and all of these interesting things, It's a really great documentary. It's basically just like digitized, HD scrubbed, colorized footage from World War II with historians and veterans talking over it, talking about the history of the war, and it's pretty fucking fascinating. Or at least I think it is. My other thing that I've been doing lately, this is the real nerd shit, is that I found a bunch of Sci-Fi Channel's Saturday morning anime recreations on YouTube, where they post like VHS rips of old anime with era appropriate commercials in between them and bumpers and stuff. And I've watched through a bunch of them, and it's pretty interesting. Like none of them are great. Is this a Level Up
classic?
I mean, it's a new thing.
They're classic animes?
No, you've talked about this before.
Have I? I've talked about it with you guys. I don't think I've talked about it on the show.
Oh, I thought you talked about it on the show.
I don't think so.
And I got to watch a lot of stuff, that I hadn't seen in a long time, like Kashan, Robot Hunter, and the original Vampire Hunter D, which is a movie that I thought held up, and then I watched it recently and was like, this does not fucking hold up. And a lot of stuff with just every anime from the 80s just had to have like a smidge of nudity. Like the heroine shirt had to get ripped off at least once. It's kind of disturbing. Like, keep your shirts on.
Tell that to that lady from Euphoria, you lib.
and that's short for libertarian, I guess.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Grumpy libertarian.
Yeah. Well,
that's
I am grumpy.
That's your brand now, Grumpy Libertarian. That should be your YouTube channel.
That's fine by me. Like, brand me a Grumpy Libertarian. I will grift the right like nobody's business.
Oh, dude, that's one way.
That
that's a one
right-wing grifter money, please. I saw some animes that I had not seen from that era. None of them were great, but like I watched one called Black Lion that I had never seen that was like set in like the samurai era and was like hyper violent. But then like there was a samurai that the ninjas couldn't kill. He kept coming back to life, and at the end, it turned out that he was basically a Terminator. And he set off the nuclear reactor in his chest and blew up Japan. It was weird. It was not good. But there was some weird shit in there. I watched the original Devilman, which I may have seen before, but Devilman Crybaby is like my favorite anime. That's on Netflix, and it's amazing.
That's your favorite?
I think it might be my favorite. It's a weird one.
That's been the one anime on Netflix I'd be like, maybe I'll watch that.
You should watch it. It's fascinating. It is weird and disturbing and bloody and graphic and has a haunting ending and is kind of the perfect fucking anime. And it's only
sounds like
10 episodes.
Sounds like a nice thing to watch late at night when I'm a little bit still.
Yeah, dude, that's how I've watched it, and it is good. I watched the original version of that, which is still really graphic, but somehow way tamer than the new version, which I guess I read a little about it. He was a little closer to the original source material, but I don't know. But also modernizes it up a bit by making it more about like civil rights and like gay representation and less about like whatever the original Devilman was about. I don't know, man. It's dumb. It's dumb, but also like underneath the dumb, it's really smart. All right. Anyway, yeah, I was just gonna say check that out on YouTube. I don't know if it's a great idea to name the channel here, but I will. It's Recreation Station. They also do like Saturday morning cartoon blocks and stuff like that with commercial era appropriate commercials, which is neat.
Matt, can I ask you a question? What's the average video length of those? Like
3 or 4 hours.
That sounds like the perfect thing to fall asleep to, if I'm being totally honest.
I've flipped a couple of those on because they tend to be like era specific, like and channel specific. So it'll be like, here's a Fox Kids block from the 90s. Here's an ABC Kids morning, Toon morning block from the fucking
that's my shit.
80s. And it'll have all the shows that were on at that time, and it'll have commercials. So I a few times now have flipped one of those on a Saturday morning and watch them with my son, and it's fucking fun. It's fun.
Sounds pretty cool.
And he like looks at all the toy commercials and is like, ah!
Yeah.
They don't do toy commercials like they used to, folks. You know,
They really don't.
if the toy companies want to know why they're not selling toys like they used to, it's because they don't do toy commercials like they fucking used to.
They make all their money in the apps now, Matt.
Yeah, I know. Boy, my son is all about Fruits Blocks now.
What's Fruits Blocks?
It's a game in Roblox, and you can like buy toys and stuffed like plushes, and they come with like codes where you can use the toy or the plush in the game or something like that. I haven't looked into it too much, but he's currently obsessed with it, which is great. Anything's better than Fortnite, am I right? Holy shit.
More like Fortnite.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for me. Once again, the shortest level up because I respect your time. Also,
Wow, thanks, Matt.
I'm tired. I'm very tired. But I'm ready to
Well,
talk
I
about
hope you're not too
Junon.
tired. Yeah, it's time to talk about Junon. How do you guys feel about there being a whole area for Junon? When I first fired this game up and was playing it, I was like, what are these areas going to be centered around? Junon was one that I expected, but still, I don't know how I feel about the execution of it. Because Junon in the original was just like a big brown like cannon that you saw on the coast of the continent that you started out at.
Is it?
Right.
It's in a city. It's definitely in a city.
Yeah, there's a
But
city.
in the overworld, it just looks like a big cannon that's sticking out over the water.
Yeah,
Big
a
brown
little bit.
Cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that it wasn't a big environment, but on the overworld, like this game really opens up the area around it, and I thought this beginning area was pretty ugly.
I find that interesting because the waters and the beaches and stuff are gorgeous here.
Well, when you first start out, you're just walking down that kind of desolate hill, and
Yeah.
you see a lot of decrepit.
Leave the line.
Like, you see a lot of decrepit mining equipment and ships. But when you make your way to the beach and the water, it looks great, but there's still a lot of old equipment rusting in the water.
Yeah, it's like because of the history of the place that it was
Yeah.
Yeah,
taken over.
I liked it
Deal
because
with
I
all
felt
this
like
Republic shit.
it built out the world in a way that I hadn't understood from the first game.
I liked it.
Apparently, Junon. Maybe you guys can check me on this, but apparently, Junon was the like central location for the Republic
Of Junon,
Which-
yeah.
Republic,
makes sense.
But like the Republic branched out because like they talked about the Republic at Calm. They talk about it in later areas too. And it seemed like the kind of central location for not the Shinra resistance, but like the precursor to Shinra, which was more of a democracy than Shinra's like corporate dictatorship.
I remember getting to Junon originally in Final Fantasy VII, like the first time I played it, and being worried. I was like, "Oh no, there's this giant city I have to explore now." When you get up to Upper Junon,
yeah.
because it looks so big, but it's really only a few
does.
locations. But it almost feels a little. This is the first time that anything's felt a little smaller in the remakes than because I felt like there's a little bit more to explore in the original version.
Well,
they still
I
have a
felt
lot
like
of the
they made-
things.
I felt like they made the area around Junon bigger, and they made the under Junon area a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they made
But
Junon
Ju-
itself
but,
smaller.
But Junon,
Yeah,
the
Junon
city
itself
of
is two
Junon
streets.
It's a mall.
Whereas I
Pretty
think in the original it's
concentrated, yeah.
a bunch. But I liked this area. I was pretty wholeheartedly into the game at this point, and I tore through before you even go to Junon or under Junon or upper Junon, you can do all of Chadley's regional intel missions, and I did every single one before I even stepped foot in Junon.
I couldn't figure out how to get to the second and third proto relic one without going through the crow's nest. I guess there's a way around it.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, no, it's like there's like a fork in the road.
Oh, okay.
We should talk too about we get a new special kind of chocobo here, mountain chocobos, which can very, very slowly walk up walls.
Yeah,
Very
so
slowly.
I guess
Slowly.
you don't get to keep your chocobo. You lose your chocobo in each new area, and then you have to go tame a new one, which is an annoying ass minigame. But yeah, I was confused by this. The Grasslands chocobos could swim through the water. I guess that was their special
Yeah.
trait. and these can climb up walls, but I just don't understand why they would make it so fucking slow.
Wait, Mother
I
Superior.
felt like it was like a not very thought out like realism thing, because if you read, there's something you can read about it, and it's like they dig their claws.
Yeah, I mean you can see
into
that's happening.
Yeah, you
like,
can see it.
Yeah, they like stomp on it, but it's really slow. But they could have sped it up.
Vanessa, Mother
Yeah.
Superior. Vanessa, Mother Superior. What do these new chocobos do?
They climb every mountain. And the old
That's really
Sit
annoying and
patiently
slow.
for 10 minutes.
Every stream.
No, that's the other ones.
Right,
Mother
that's what I
Superior,
said.
Vanessa.
I
then,
kind of wish that they would have brought back the chocobo breeding mechanic.
Yeah.
I want to.
I really
want
wanna
to
You
see
want
some
it-
chocobos fucking
Yeah,
HD.
you want to see them getting down.
Yeah.
Work.
Quack.
So
Am I not seeing Fort Condor in your notes? Where the fuck is Fort
I'm
Condor?
going to quack.
we can talk
I
about
meant
it.
to put a minigame section in. And maybe
Yeah, we'll talk
there's a
about
couple
it. I guess.
minigames.
And we do meet a new. I guess this is this all optional? Like Gabe, who I swear he said, "Oh, but I'm gay, by the way." Like, oh, okay, well, good, that's
Is
great.
that the tattooed guy?
Yeah, the old man.
Well,
With
the
the
old
tattoos.
man with all the
that's
tattoos.
Not optional. That's not
This
optional because
is
you need
the
to find him
weirdest
to get
shit.
the mountain chocobo. I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, you
this
do.
is the weirdest fucking thing. Just this
He's like-
shirtless old man, absolutely covered in tribal tattoos. Which, like, is what state? All right, two questions. What state did Napoleon Dynamite take place in?
Idaho.
Is Japan the Idaho of the world? Like, are they just fucking 20 years back on trends? Is that what's happening?
But
What's with all
he's
these
like
tribal
he got-
tattoos.
He's
He
old.
was
He
like,
got them a
man.
long time ago.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
he doesn't talk to a lot of people. Somebody
That's
gave
fair.
him a
That
Limp
makes
Bizkit
sense.
CD 20 years ago, and that's all he's had to
He
listen
got them
to.
done. That's how all
Yeah.
of us with tattoos are gonna look when we're 80 years old. JK, I don't have tattoos. I'm afraid of
'Cause you're a
commitment.
dork.
I was just
My
thinking,
tattoos are
actually,
gonna look amazing.
speaking of Idaho and being 20 years behind, I have noticed this game has way less undercuts than the last game, showing it has progressed 4 years. They still sometimes use the model from the last game. He shows up as like the innkeeper in Under Junon, with the undercut. But now Roche's weird like peaches haircut just stands out because it's so 2020. And like he's
I
showing
like
back up.
Roche's haircut. Maybe that's more of a reflection on me and my own
definitely
Yeah, you're stuck in the
is, yeah.
2010s.
place in the culture.
Well, you also are the only person on the podcast that is still doing the poofy in the front hair. Like, the front of your hair is real poofed up. Like,
Yeah,
it's
Matt, why don't we do that?
2010.
Why don't you and I do a
Yeah.
poofy in the front haircut?
Shut
I've
up,
been,
John.
you know what? I've been doing this for how old am I? 36 for
Don't
21
dox yourself,
years.
Jim.
He wouldn't
You know
even
what? My hair
recognize
just-
himself without his poof.
My hair just does that now.
Mm-hmm.
I wore a hat on the last recording, and I think it was very disorienting for Vanessa.
It was. I was confused about who you were. I thought you were a special guest for the show.
Yeah.
Now, Vanessa's doing the poofy in the back look, which is more of a bedhead, I'm bedridden because my ankle's broken thing.
I'm just
Yeah.
trying to, like,
Vanessa's
poof
hair
up
is
my
thick.
but it is very, very thick.
At least Matthew and I get some good representation in this episode.
Oh, man,
You
there's a
would
lot of
all-
There's a
We
lot
get
of
some
good bald boy
representation. Is it good representation? No,
Yeah,
it's
we
not.
get to learn a new song for our people. We get to learn like
This
an
is
exclusive
just like the
greeting.
representation in that Like a Dragon game you were talking about. It's like, look, we're making fun of you. It's great, right?
Yeah.
So we make our
No?
way to Under Junon. We meet Rhonda, who is the mayor / sheriff. I think Matt has a crush on her.
Jim,
Hot ass
this,
Rhonda.
it took me.
Rhonda, help me, Rhonda.
I mean, I did go back and do the proto relics and like fix the windmill and a few other things
Okay.
in the last chunker. But I would say this getting from leaving the mines to entering Junon took me 10 hours of stuff that I
Wow. You went and did all the stuff you could.
did. Yeah, pretty much. And I did try like several times to beat the Phoenix summon or like learn it from Chadley.
Oh, sure, yeah.
That's a toughie.
That's one of the tougher ones, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Oh, really? Did you not get the
yeah.
3 things
I
first?
have now.
You
Easy.
gotta get the 3 things.
I tried it with the 1 pip. But
yeah.
now I've
I
got
did the
2
same,
or 3
I
of
did
them.
the same thing, and it fucking destroyed me.
I don't know why. I just don't like. Why would you bother? It's out there. Just get it. You get points for it.
I mean,
And then you
I
get all
feel
those
that
points that you can not bother to spend on materia that you already have enough of.
Sometimes
Yeah.
you don't want to fuck with getting a new chocobo, and it's like, can I do it?
Actually, I think the game's really smart about, like, when you run across those chocobo walls, even if your chocobo is not summoned, if you look around, your chocobo will be there waiting for you.
Oh, that's fun.
This game is fucking brilliant with its mount. I think it's
yeah.
absolutely brilliant.
And you get to buy special clothes for him that you earn with
can change the
feathers.
colors.
And you find the feathers by petting baby chocobos and following them to their little
I will say,
stands.
like, this is not a spoiler, but those outfits for your chocobos matter later in the game.
Yeah, you already told us
way
that
to
they
spoil things there, Jim.
They have
Oh, I
stats
think I
or
did say
something
that.
once we
Yeah,
get to
yeah.
the chocobo
They
races,
affect
which we
your
all know are
stats in
happening
the
because
chocobo
Jim and
races.
Vanessa won't shut up about it.
Oh, because it was also in the original game.
Yeah,
fair.
and sorry, but when the game tells me that I'm the best chocobo racer and way better than all of my friends who also play the game, then I'm gonna share that.
The only
So-
reason it didn't tell me that is because I was first.
So
Hope
do you
guys
have
are
to do
enjoying all
all?
of my piano playing screenshots, by the way.
Do you have
You know what?
to?
I want to go back and play that piano shit just to beat you.
Do you have
can't
to
beat me.
unlock
I've
the
mastered it.
mountain chocobo in order
It's
to
not
get
a higher
to
score
Junon?
than what I got. Do you know
No,
that to
you
get
don't-
the
you
star
don't need
rating, you
get
have to get a
Junon.
perfect fucking score in the piano? To get the star,
That's insane.
you have to do it perfectly. So you
I
can't do better
really
than me.
don't think I can do it. I
You
really
can
don't
do
think I
equally
can
as
do it.
good as me, but you can't do better than me.
Although I saw on either Reddit or TikTok that if you turn on the zoom function on PlayStation and zoom in on the like note function where it tells you to click, it's way easier.
I bet
So I
because
might
the
try
camera
that.
swirling around can be distracting, just like
does.
it
That's
is
so
with
fucking
the
distracting with the parade thing.
parade thing and the thing in the last one. I don't really like that minigame, but we'll talk about it when we get to it.
Well, yeah, the parade thing,
kinda
I just
frustrating.
paused whenever buttons were about to come up, and that's how I got my special commendation.
I couldn't figure out. I had this problem last time. I just am not sure what the correct timing is to hit the button. Like I felt like
yeah,
I was
it's
like
hard.
hitting it, like it does, like a circle or a square will close in on it, and like I felt like
feel
I was
like-
hitting it perfect with that, but it was like still like good, and I was like, "Fuck you."
That makes sense to me in the live stream like scanning part, but in the parade thing, it was very hard to gauge. By the way, we're like 15 minutes into the quest log, and we've talked about absolutely nothing, pretty much.
Well, I mean, the Chadley stuff is a pretty big part of it. We got to go and do all the Titan
let's do
stuff.
That. Let's do that after, because like the.
But I
the
did it
first
first.
I
well,
did it
I don't
first
care what
as
you
well.
did. We talk about what's in the notes, bitch.
All right.
Wow.
So we get into
Oh,
under
weird. It says here
Junon.
Chadley's stuff in the notes right there, first thing.
Let me revoke edit access.
So we get there, and then
Yeah, we go to
Matt
Junon.
meets his
Junon's boring.
girlfriend. His girlfriend
Yeah, it
is
was. I
like,
did have the hots for Rhonda. Rhonda, the mayor sheriff, is hot. And she's
Rhonda
all
needs
like,
some face
Listen,
wash.
I think
She's got a
we
dirty
finally
face.
figured it out.
We should mod out
She's got a
women
dirty
having
shirt, which is gross.
dirty faces. Let's mod this out. I
I think I've really nailed down what Matt's type is.
What is it?
I think I just really like assertive women.
But not Bayonetta.
Well, no, but that game was terrible.
No, that game was great.
No, that game was terrible.
Great.
Terrible.
Great.
Terrible.
Great.
Terrible.
All right,
Terrible.
we get to under
Terrible.
Junon,
Aw.
and Sheriff Rhonda, hot Sheriff Rhonda, tells us that she knows that we're fugitives,
Hot Grandma Rhonda.
and, but she's not going to say anything. She tells us to go to the inn. This is where we split up.
Barrett is
And-
instantly like, I don't fucking believe you. And I was like, right, Barrett?
Yeah.
Like, people
Yep.
here are cool. And I was like, totally. Fucking idiots. The people in the party are stupid fucking idiots. Cloud, Tifa, Aerith, they're morons.
Dog.
Barrett's the only
Dog.
sensible one. And
Cat
he
dog.
just does what they say. Barrett should be the leader.
Barrett has low self-esteem because of his past, and he's very malleable.
Why doesn't Cloud have low self-esteem because of his past?
Because he's
He
in
does. He
denial.
doesn't even remember his
Yeah, he doesn't
past.
remember.
Cloud is like the absence of self-esteem. He's just acting on like lower brain function.
Yeah.
His lizard brain is driving
his
him.
lizard brain. Yeah. So we can walk around Junon, talk to other characters, but when we make our way to the inn, we hear a cry for help, and this is a really big diversion from the original. In the original, there's a little girl that's like getting menaced by a monster in the water. In Rebirth, it's Yuffie, who's on a rowboat, and she's getting attacked by this underwater monster who's preventing her from getting to the like platform that takes her to Upper Junon. So we decide to help her.
Okay, here's the thing, Jim.
Yeah.
I hated one thing the game did
Russ is
right
taking
here.
notes.
What is it?
Where you hear a girl scream, and then the guy's like, you should really, the undercut innkeeper's like,
Yeah.
you should really go check out what's happening. It's like, yeah, you didn't have to tell me to do that.
Oh, I thought it was one of those like composition books.
Why? What did you hate about
It
it? John?
is.
I don't know
Cool.
that
I like
that the game felt that after hearing a girl scream, it had to tell me, you should look into that. It's like, yeah.
Well, and
I was
also,
gonna-
like, why isn't everybody within earshot looking into that? Like, isn't that the responsible thing to do? And really, the more realistic thing that happens, like, somebody starts screaming, and typically people are like, what's happening? And not just like, "Dur, dur, dur, I'm just going to run my inn.
Nah, dude, you don't want to get involved with that.
it was
Unless,
just
like,
a
you live
weird
in New York
extra
or,
step.
like, one of them big cities, I guess, where
Like,
Yeah,
all
who
the
knows what life
liberals
is
live
like
and they
under
just
Junon.
don't care.
but
I
like
mean, it seems like a really small town. Like, everybody must know each other.
Yeah.
It's a town of 50 fucking people.
So, like, imagine if in the Spider-Man game or movie, someone started screaming, and then someone went to Spider-Man and said, you should probably look into why that person's screaming, Spider-Man.
No, I agree with you, John. It was really fucking stupid.
Yeah. But, a great
although,
cutscene.
I mean,
of
it was
the
stupid,
girl in
yeah,
danger.
But also, Yuffie is fucking awesome. Every cutscene that features Yuffie is an all-timer. Yuffie is
I don't agree
an
with that.
amazing
She's
character.
entertaining, but like so far in this game, I liked her a lot in the DLC to the last game, and like she does some fun stuff in this. But like so far at this point, like she's just kind of annoying. Like she just kind of, and then maybe they're going for that. She's like your kid sister or something. But I don't.
Kid sister.
Once I can control
Kid
her
sister.
and like fight with her and her great fighting style, I think I'll
Oh my
be like
God.
more into
like,
it.
Probably the most fun like player character in the game, I think, as far as like combat goes.
All right, Jim,
haven't
no
gotten
spoilers
laser
because
yet.
you finished the game, so I don't want to know. But it's still my fondest desire that this game, Sephiroth kills Cloud, and in the next game we play as Tifa and
that'd be
Yuffie.
amazing.
And maybe Barrett like replaces his gun arm with a sword arm and learns a bunch of fucking
Whoa!
cool arts and
Barrett
stuff.
gets a Buster sword arm.
Fuck
Buster
yeah.
Barrett.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
Buster
he
Barrett.
picks
I
up
would be
Cloud's
so into
sword
that.
off the ground, and he's like,
Or if you have
"Oh,
to have a
forget you."
spiky-haired,
Get Zack.
plain-looking boy,
Zack.
Yeah, you got Zack right there. Like we don't need
No,
this.
Barrett grows an afro.
Kill
And he's
Cloud.
Buster Barrett. Oh yeah, love
Okay, on the one hand, that's kind of racist, but on the other
that.
hand,
Is it
I
racist?
do love an afro. Like, it does look great. So, like, is it
It would look
racist?
dope.
I just
I
want
don't
people to
know.
look their best.
Yeah, well, but I feel like Barrett just wouldn't look right with like a Reggie Watts hairstyle, you know?
Not that big.
Going the way that
Maybe
character
like,
design seems
what
to be
was-
going these days, it'll be the Killmonger cut, where it's like short
Ooh,
locks,
that'd be cool.
all kind of
What
almost
was-
like a swoop cut, but it's locks instead of like.
Oh, like a Gen Z, like top curly perm
It's
thing.
it's the Killmonger cut from Black Panther. Like it is every black young male in games and movies these days seem to have that same. Which on the
Yeah, you're
again
right.
on the one hand, it's a great fucking look, but on the other hand, it has quickly like oversaturated.
It's
the market.
gonna age like the Kid and Play kind of diagonal.
I don't know about
Oh
that,
my
but I think it's
God.
going
How
to
could
age like
anything
spiky
age
in the
worse
front
than that?
haircuts or undercuts.
no,
like I
it's
think
it's gonna age like NSYNC hair highlights.
Ooh.
it's going to
I
age
had
like
those.
2000s emo boy, like really combed down and like mousse.
The Spider-Man 3
Yeah.
haircut.
Yo,
age
Spider-Man
like
3,
the Peaky
yeah.
Blinder cut is gonna age. Peaky Blinder
That
cut is just that same
ages
haircut
for people
white
like
guys.
us, but for conservative dudes, that's a timeless cut.
I will say, I think Barrett's writing has improved so much in this game.
oh
He's just
my gosh. Yeah.
Did they hire Sweet
obviously,
Baby Inc?
yeah. Thanks, Sweet Baby. But,
Did they?
but
That's a real
Babe.
question.
I don't know. I have no
Probably
idea.
not. They're
Or
a Japanese
they
company,
might have,
right?
yeah, they might have hired someone, or just tried harder. Who
I mean,
knows?
I just think I think they did a lot with Barrett in the last compared to the original. Barrett
Yes,
was a
for
much
sure.
better character
Yeah.
in remake, and he's continues to be great in this. Like he's
yeah,
But also, I like that they put more black characters in this game.
Yeah.
Like in remake, Barrett was kind of the only black character that you
I don't think that's
interact
true. I
with.
think that there
Wasn't
were a
the
lot of like
teacher-
the towns had a lot. Of,
There
the towns
were
were
other
very diverse.
ancillary, like NPCs, maybe one or two, but in this one there are characters that you can talk to and interact with that are also black, and like I think that's a good thing. Not enough, still, I don't think, considering like you want to believe Barrett is a part of this world, not one of like 15 minority people.
No,
Yeah.
I agree.
You know what I
You're
mean?
right.
Like-
I mean, to be fair, probably somebody will run a ship into a bridge because this game had to have DEI.
Oh man.
If you're gonna call me a grumpy libertarian, I'm gonna act like it, motherfuckers.
I noticed that this game has a lot of background characters and some characters that are like in wheelchairs or have
Yes, yeah.
different kind of abilities, and I think that's really interesting, especially from a Japanese game. It's like that kind of representation of just like filling the world, I think, is important.
yeah.
and
It's like,
I didn't expect it.
what other kind of game gives you someone who's basically has Dustmalchian syndrome? Like, no one.
The fuck is
Dustmalchian syndrome.
Dustmalchian syndrome?
Is
I
that the
don't know.
guy from Calm, the innkeeper from
Yeah,
Calm?
the innkeeper from Calm.
Oh, yeah.
He's like,
Obviously,
he's like a sickly,
dying?
pale,
The one who's
sickly,
dying?
pale, black-haired man.
yeah,
Like
a feeble
sickly,
black-haired.
skinny, looks like he's just not quite well in some undetermined
Yeah,
way.
yet somehow you're drawn to him.
Something's wrong with his liver. Like,
Yeah.
so we do rescue Yuffie after she makes it to shore. We
Okay,
don't
this
get
reveal
the
of Yuffie
CPR
was-
minigame.
Because it doesn't say, hey, it's Yuffie. It's like, oh, there's a girl in danger. And then you do get, admittedly, they bait and switched me. They got me. I was
Yeah,
like, I thought it was
got
going to
you.
be the girl from the original game. And then it's revealed
Yeah.
that, nope, she's there, but it's Yuffie.
I loved that.
was great.
It was
No,
a great
no
surprise.
complaints.
Yeah. And also, like, I was a little bit bummed you didn't get to do the CPR minigame. Remember that weird CPR
It was
minigame
terrible.
from the
I mean,
original?
it,
But
it hints
awful.
at it.
There
I mean,
is
it
a
really
honk honk
hints hard
joke.
at it.
There's
Yeah,
a
it does,
honk
yeah.
honk joke, Jim.
There-
Because
Yeah, I love that.
you go and first do you jump on the dolphin, or does the dolphin help
No,
you?
Yuffie takes the dolphin to the shore, and then the monster comes onto the platform, and you
Right.
have the big boss fight with the monster.
Right.
Which is the Terror of the Deep.
And I was wondering, because I'd found that big platform before. I was like, what's this for? I probably should
Yeah.
have realized it was going to be for a
Yeah.
big boss
Yeah.
fight.
I felt the exact same way. Like I saw the big platform, I walked out on it. I think maybe you can't walk out on it, but I saw
Yeah, you
it
can.
and I was like, what's that about? And
'Cause I was
then
looking
the
for
fights
treasure.
on it, and I was like, doy.
Yeah. Because it's coming up through these grates. Oh, it was a fun
Yeah.
boss fight, really good animation. And then
Yeah, it had a great special attack where it summoned like a cyclone tornado of water that looked great in the game.
But I think I was over leveled because I played for 10 hours before going
Oh,
into
me
Judah.
too, yeah.
Because
I
I
wrecked this boss.
destroyed this thing. And then poor Yuffie, I guess she's in the interim. We just kind of left her face down in the water as we fought this thing.
And Rhonda revives her.
Yeah, because they're like, does anyone know CPR? And Cloud's so far away, but Mr. Dolphin, who's named Mr. Dolphin, helps you swim to shore. And
Mr. Dolphin.
yeah, Mr. Dolphin. And Cloud's about to give her CPR, and it does. This is the most anime part of the game. Is like, obviously, CPR is like, She's like, no, you don't need to do mouth. Just do chest compressions. I'll handle the other
Oh
part.
yeah, she's like, you do chest, yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, okay.
Let
and
me
he's
just
like,
tell you, listeners, if somebody tells you to do CPR, please don't stop and think about whether or not it's okay to touch this woman on the breasts, okay? Because
And
first of all,
also-
you're not. You're going to be putting your hand on their chest.
Yeah, it's
And
not sexual, it's anatomical.
Yeah, second of all, this person's life is in imminent danger, and you need to not be fucking hesitating because
doesn't want to be
boobies, you
canceled
fucking
by the
teenage
woke
You know what?
media.
You can
Fucking
touch those
incel
boobs
loser.
later.
But he did. Yeah, because Yuffie wakes up just before Cloud is about to start chest compressions. Unfortunately, his hands are in the honk position, and
No,
there's some-
his hands. He's in the CPR position. His hands are over each other.
I took a screenshot, Matthew. His hands are in the honk.
Oh.
I'll
And
believe it when I
Yuffie,
see it.
Yuffie assumes that she's about to get molested by this guy, and yeah.
She's probably right, too. Cloud's mentally disturbed.
I mean,
doesn't know right from
yes,
wrong.
you're not wrong.
Yeah.
He's going
But-
through a thing.
But so we revived
You guys
Yuffie,
notice that
and
Vanessa's
she's
having
like,
some cheese over there?
She's
Well,
like, I
cheese
just saw her
time.
put
Is
I
that
just
the
saw her
cheese
put
I
a
bought?
chip clip on some chips, but I wasn't going to comment on it. But so
Or sorry, we all bought.
We revive Yuffie, and she says, "Hey, meet me at the end." So we go to the end. You get some interesting plot stuff here. So you can kind of walk by and almost walk in on a conversation between Aerith and Red 13. And
Okay.
Aerith is talking about
No, Eric
That
is
was-
clearly talking to somebody else.
Yeah, that was either Reeve.
No, Red 13 walks out of the room.
Yeah,
if you look
but
back.
no.
It's Red
Yes,
13.
he does, but
Yes.
Aerith is clearly talking to somebody else. It's
Yeah,
not the
it
same
doesn't
fucking
sound
voice
like
actor.
Red 13's
Yeah, it's not-
voice.
Yeah, that was not. It was
Oh, I
either,
thought it was Red 13.
No.
Well,
Who
no,
is
that's
it
what
then?
it intentionally implies to.
Yes.
Well, Jim, you finished the fucking game, so
I don't know.
don't tell
I don't
us.
fucking know.
I'm going to say
mean,
it
this
was
happens
either
again in the
Reeve
next
or
chunker, so,
Special
like,
Boy
and-
Wedge. That's my guess.
Yeah,
not
I thought
good
it was
at
Wedge too.
Yeah,
I thought
it
it
It's
sounded like
definitely
Wedge.
not Wedge. It's not a Wedge. It's
Oh,
not a
okay.
Wedge.
So he
Stop
doesn't
giving
know,
things
but
away,
he's definitely going to
Jim.
tell us who it's not.
It's
Cool.
either
Of elimination.
yeah, because you do get some
It's
cuts
Sephiroth.
away. Like you do get a cutscene with. I guess you talk about it with Reeve in a second. For some reason.
Reeve, the best character in this game. What a man.
Do we? I don't remember a cutscene with Reeve.
Reeve?
Yeah, didn't you get like a brief, like Reeve is there and Sang is there and Rufus is there, and that's what like
Oh,
right before
where like
Glenn
where,
shows
like,
up.
The K-Sith is in the background of his computer.
I think so. I don't remember.
I don't
this
remember
part?
that. I don't remember that at all.
I don't remember
There's a
that,
part
but I
where
thought he
it
was.
shows Reeve at his computer, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And he's changing the wanted poster profile pictures.
No,
So
okay,
he's,
that's
and he's
not
making
in
that's
this
and he's,
chunker.
that's not in this
oh,
chunker.
is that in the next chunker? I
The
think it's in
cutscenes
next chunker.
here are cutscenes of President Shinra,
Yeah,
and he's like,
maybe it was Sang. Maybe it wasn't Reeve. Maybe it was Sang.
Oh, it might have been.
It is,
although
yeah,
it's saying
saying
they call
you know
him
what? There was
Song.
a scene where some like shoes popped into the camera, into view, and like I was like, oh, that's gonna be Reeve, and then it scrolled up and it was Song, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, fine.
Song.
Yeah, can we say song? Yeah,
I just did.
I'm sorry, I said it
know,
wrong.
I'm just saying.
It's like
I wanna
it's
say
like
sang
after
too.
years of reading comic books, my son corrected me one day and was like, Dad, it's Shang-Chi, not Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit.
It took me a few years to be like, it's Aerith, not Aerith.
Yeah, Aerith, Yuffie instead of
Yeah.
Yuffie.
I called it Yuffie too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eris is that's a translation error from the original game. That's not really
And
on
Yuffie,
you.
Yeah,
and
but,
Yuffie's
like,
just
I was-
reading, like because
My AI brain.
I always read that
Yes,
as
on
Yuffie, to
that
be honest
game.
with you. I never saw that as Yuffie.
Oh, I thought
You
it was
always used to
Yuffie.
say tatas instead of Tifa.
yeah,
Tata. Yeah, Tits McGee instead of Tifa. So we meet Yuffie at the end. How'd you guys feel? Like, what did this make you feel like more interested in what Cloud is not remembering, or is this like retread?
did you
from the
talk to
original?
everybody? Because I did like go in
I
and talk
did.
to everybody. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a lot of new stuff that happens. I think the Era thing is probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
There's the
Well,
Tifa
we don't know
one,
what's
too,
going
that
on
we talked
there.
about earlier. Well, the Tifa one too is a big deal because Tifa asked you about Emilio.
Yeah, and I
Did you
didn't
guys
know
remember who Emilio was?
I said he was the guy that worked at the shop, and she was
Yeah,
like,
me
yeah,
too.
that's right.
And then, but she didn't say all this stuff that Jim says she says
Yeah,
after.
no, I didn't
So
get
I
the
guess
whole
we
thing.
were all
Yeah.
wrong.
I
think
also
it's
shocked,
like
but I guess it wasn't.
Worst, middle, and best, and we picked middle.
Yeah.
I did put that in there. So, like, I guess Emilio was part of a group that was collectively known in Midgar as the Four Friends, but Cloud was not a part of it. So if you were referencing all of the boys in Nibelheim, they were collectively known as the Four Friends and Cloud, which is for Cloud fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like, yikes.
It's like plus Funky Kong. Except he's not Donkey Kong's gay uncle.
Funky Kong. Yeah, so Cloud is not really a part of any cultural things that are happening in Nibelheim. But she asks you who Emilio is as like a test of your memory, which relates to what Aerith is talking about, because Aerith is like, what does he remember? I think that's her line. What does he remember, or does he remember that? Something like that. Everybody's very interested in what Cloud can actually recall from, I guess, like, earlier than 3 weeks ago. Because the Final Fantasy VII remake connecting to Rebirth, it's like 3 weeks, right?
It feels longer. It does feel longer.
It feels longer, but like in the
I don't
game
think it
timeline, is
is.
it any longer than
Yeah,
that?
I don't. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think it's more than a
I
couple.
think
of
it's
weeks.
like 3 to 4 weeks. It's
because
disorienting.
like the terrorists are still fresh in the public zeitgeist. You know, everyone's still looking for the terrorists. Why don't we go back to Zack? What was all that about?
You
we'll
know,
get there.
I guess
let's
we'll
see
get
what
there.
Zach's doing.
Yeah, I want to go see what Zack's doing.
We'll get there. So the next morning, Yuffie
I felt like
shows up.
Tifa and Cloud were kind of feeling each other out. Like, are you really who you say you are? Like,
yeah,
Cloud is still
actually,
a little.
yeah, you're right.
Cloud is still a little.
And that's also
I don't know. He
kind
apologizes
of a callback.
here, or is it the next day?
Yeah, he does. No. He apologizes here for that interaction in Calm that we mentioned in the last episode.
That's
where
growth. I've
he's-
never seen Cloud apologize for anything.
Yes, exactly. Because Cloud's like, I don't want to tell you what I remember from before a few years ago, and so she dismisses him, and he apologizes for that here, which I think is a great character moment. But the next day, they don't really get any further than that here in this conversation. But the next day, Yuffie shows up and she's like, "Hey," she gets her big intro here, I think, with all the fireworks. Is that right?
Oh,
here,
yeah. And the
Yes.
Sakura blossoms and everything.
Yes. Oh my god.
And some
Her
fushigi.
intro
I mean,
is
sorry.
Incredible.
Contact juggling.
This thing probably took 6 months to animate, and
Yeah.
they did a fantastic job. It is incredible. Like her whole her whole intro as a materia hunter / ninja / Wutai operative is amazing.
She's just the best character, and Matt is
She
wrong
is
to say that
like,
she isn't.
She's at least the most sincere character. Like, she's
What makes
just
you say
wears her
that?
heart on her sleeve, which is great.
She betrays us.
Because
She betrays us here.
Yuffie does.
Yes.
Well, not
Not
really,
kind
though.
of. She fucking
Not
betrays
really.
us.
Why would
She
she?
stabs us in the back.
Hold on. So we get a Yuffie intro, and she tells us that Rhonda gave her a contract for Rufus Shinra, and that she's going to act on it. She's gonna assassinate Rufus Shinra. So,
And then she tells
asks
us
if we
that
wanna help her.
Rhonda is paying her for the contract with their
Well, that's what a
bounties.
contract is.
Okay, she's paying them with their bounties, and then she's like, "Ha ha, here's Roche," and then leaves.
Oh yeah, that's true. But then Roche is like, I want to fuck Cloud so bad. I'm not going to do it right here.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it where I can.
Well, he doesn't
do
want
it
to fuck Cloud in front of all these randos.
No, he
wants to
does.
fuck
He's like,
Cloud
I
in
want to
front
put on
of
a show, you teens.
Shinra soldiers. Oh,
Come
man.
out.
That's what makes
Oh,
him
you're right,
horny.
you're
That's
right.
what makes him
Yeah.
hard. Is
I want to show
When
all my
he's like-
soldiers just how cool I am.
Yeah. When he's calling you out, if you go out onto the balcony, he'll start doing Shakespeare. He's like, "But soft, what
I
light
love that.
from yonder window brings?"
I did see that.
Shakespeare in this world? How
Yeah.
does that make sense?
Shut
it
up.
was Earth
It's
all
Earth?
along.
Yeah, it was Earth all along,
Yeah.
Matthew.
Well, Junon is on Avon.
Oh,
Stratford on
Yeah.
Avon.
Yep.
So our next goal is to get up to the top. So we have to ride Mr. Dolphin. I hated this mini game.
It's
It
Wave Race
sucks.
64. It was great. I was like, yay, something I'm good at. After being so terrible at Fort Condor, I was like, I got this first try. I was like drifting the dolphin. Oh, it's great. Don't you all love Wave Race 64?
When I first
It's all
started
right.
You.
trying the dolphin race, I thought you had to hold down the right trigger the whole time, which actually is like the drift button and slows the dolphin down. And so I was like going along, and they kept being like, faster. I'm like, I'm going as fast as it goes. What are they talking about?
I thought this was all right. It took me a couple of tries. And then the dolphin kicks us up onto a ship. And or a control tower, which we use to lower a boat down into the water for our friends to get on, and then we raise it back up to Upper Junon so that we can infiltrate Upper Junon.
Or as Johnny called it, the crane puzzle.
Yep. There's this crane puzzle that I got it the
not
first time.
a fucking puzzle.
I'm very proud of myself.
There is
figured
one
out-
thing for you to do,
Yep.
and that's to lower it and then raise it.
And you know what, Matt? I did it perfectly.
So then we scoot on up to Upper Junon, but we're in the military base, essentially. Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
so,
The security here, not so good. They do
very
comment on
lax.
it, but
Yeah.
like you're just walking through, just walking. You aren't even dressed as Shinra people, and no one cares.
No. They're too busy getting ready for the president's arrival.
well,
but then-
once you're in a secure area, don't you kind of like just assume that everyone there has passed through
Yeah,
security
I mean,
already?
that's what you hope for.
That's what I kind of assumed was going on here. Then Cloud kicks Baird and Red out of the party. He's like, well, nobody's going to think you two are Shinra soldiers, which
Yeah, you guys-
seems
you
kind
guys
of
can't-
derogatory to Barrett.
like-
Like why?
You
He has
guys
a
can't
big
pass
gun
for
on
regular
his arm.
human beings.
Okay,
Like, you're
yeah,
a
I bet there's
giant
not a lot of other
monster.
soldiers with fucking prosthetic arms in the fucking army.
I'm with
No,
Matthew.
you're a
That's
giant cyborg monster, and you're
He's not
the
a
other
monster.
one
He's just a
is-
black man. What are you saying?
I wasn't saying that.
Also, some of the Shinra soldiers have like displacer beasts as like canine units. So why would
Yeah.
why would Red not be okay?
He's not a dog.
Because
He
Red
howls.
speaks in Falstaffian
He is a
English.
cat.
That's how they know.
I don't know, John. He looks like a cat, but Jim was right. He does howl like a dog, like a
He
wolf.
howls like a dog. Yeah.
I don't think he's either a cat or a dog.
He's cat dog.
Yeah. He's
He
cat
says
dog.
moof. He says meow wow.
Wow.
Myark, myark.
Oh my god, you're so annoying.
All right, so let's set up Upper June on a bit. They are getting ready for a big military parade to kind of announce the induction of a new Shinra president, which is Rufus. And Rufus wants to make a big show of it. He tells them that they need to fire the cannon. And he's told that it will be perceived as an act of war by Wutai, but he does not care.
She's so big now.
Let that cat
Look
lick
how
your
big
beard.
she is.
That's disgusting.
Yeah,
Do
she's
her voice,
fat
Matt.
now.
Do her voice.
Remember how
Yeah,
fat
do her
you
voice.
used to
Yeah,
how
make
fat
her
you
say
were now?
something to us.
Remember. Yeah. What did
Remember
she
you
say?
used to be-
Yeah,
What did she wanna
Dory,
say?
Dory, say hi.
All she
Story,
says
tell me
is
about your
"fuck you."
life.
That's all she says.
He did the voice.
Yay!
Her voice is. She bites me. Oh, now you want out of
So
the room?
when-
Okay.
So when Rufus is in his little, I guess, executive office, he gets a visit from a guy named Glenn Lodbrok.
The best character in the game, Glenn Lodbrok.
Most unnecessary character ever.
And okay, so
Glenn
he's
Lodbrok.
introduced.
Like this guy, I said it earlier, sounds like a fucking high school science teacher in Ohio. Like,
And for some reason, he is dressed just like the black robe number guys, but he's
ooh.
like
I thought he was dressed like Organization 13. I'm like, oh, it's
He
a Org 13
is.
guy.
He's dressed like Organization 13.
'Cause when they
His
show
name should be what, like Zelgin.
no, it's
Yeah.
got to be Ted Moresby. No, that's the guy.
Wait,
From...
what's Glenn Lodbrok backwards? Which Disney character is he secretly?
Oh, I was so
His
annoyed
name
by
is
this.
Bloxorb.
Glenn, what's his name? Glenn Horthrop.
Lodbrok.
Glenn Lodbrok.
So this is the guy who was.
Fuck
He
off.
seems to be a representative for Wu-Tai. Why is he dressed like the Black Robes?
Let me. Well, I can't explain that totally, but I
Oh,
I
will
really
say
want an
Glenn-
explanation. Can I be honest
I
with you?
do.
I don't
Lodbrok.
fucking care, and I don't
I
want to keep
do.
talking about this man.
Our listeners deserve it.
We
Glenn
They
need-
deserve a
Lodbrok.
deep dive into
Yeah,
Glenn Lodbrok.
they-
Glenn
Dis-
Lodbrok was a
He loves salt-flavored
soldier.
ice cream or whatever.
He was
Who
a
doesn't?
soldier in the first like battalion of soldiers who were like regular humans before they were genetically enhanced with Genova, and he was dispatched to Wutai. Eventually met a young Sephiroth and didn't like him, but learned to like him, but it got betrayed by him. Got dispatched to Wutai during the Wutai War, and he was seemingly killed by Rufus Shinra, but he's also notable for being instrumental in the Wutai interim government after he defected from Soldier and kind of rallied the anti-Shinra sentiment in Wutai to overthrow their government that surrendered to Shinra.
You do get
And
a
so
weird
he-
flashback to Rufus shooting him in the head. And
Rufus shooted him.
Yeah, he
Rufus
shooted him in
shot
the head.
in the back. He shooted him in the back. Rufus shot him in the back, which is I don't want to call it. Yeah, Rufus shot him in the back. I was gonna be like, oh, a famous scene, but it's really not.
what is it
famous.
from? Is it from the mobile game? Is it from that?
No, it's from Ever Crisis
What's
and
that?
the mobile game.
What's Ever Crisis?
Hyper Crisis is the mobile game.
No, there's Ever Crisis, which is a mobile game. Well, it's also a mobile game.
Oh,
Is
Ever
that the
Crisis is a
PUBG
mobile
one?
game,
The First
and-
Soldier?
No, that's First Soldier, yeah, which is like the battle royale thing.
Yeah, is that what this is from?
He was introduced in that one, I believe.
Hey, John, why don't you have a Pepsi?
I will. But
Why don't you have a Pepis?
I'm gonna
Beppis.
do some magic. Here.
Oh, you're gonna mix them? Gross, dude. That's disgusting.
Well,
Why?
he wants to get as much. He wants to drink as much of his own backwash as he can.
Yeah.
John, that's gnarly.
How is that? It's just pouring one thing into it. I don't backwash into my drinks. What's wrong
Anyway,
with
this
you
has been
guys?
Living with Diabetes 2024.
There's no sugar in this.
It's Pepsi.
That soda you pour that into is mostly just your breath.
It's Pepsi Zero.
Oh, zero lack of sugar.
Oh, zero shame.
I don't.
Anyway,
you
can
guys
All
you
right, are we
please
done
stop
talking
talking
about
about
Glenn
fucking
Lodbrok?
Glenn?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, we're done talking about Glenn fucking Lodbrok.
You mean this
By the
nothing
way,
that has
I
nothing to
hate
do
that
with
name.
anything? Fucking
Yeah,
nothing.
Yeah.
So is Glenn
So,
coming?
Rufus
Is going
It's
he going to be a big
filler.
part of this game? That don't. I'm asking rhetorically. Don't tell me. It's like, is there going to be more Glenn Rothrock now?
I hope,
hope so.
Yeah, me too.
I also
Hope next time he
hope
shows
so.
up, Jim tells us about him again. This has been the
Did you
most
say
exhilarating
Glenn
part of the
Rothrock?
show.
Rothrock?
Yeah, he
the
did.
final boss
Yeah,
of the game.
Glenn
Glenn
Rothrock.
Rothrock. Yay! I like Glenn Rothrock now. All right, so we get that. Did you guys notice you can see the high wind when you get up through this Junon elevator?
Oh,
What's
weird.
the
Did we notice
Highland?
it? Of course we noticed it because there's a whole fucking cutscene about it where Cloud explains what it is.
It's basically
it.
that opening shot from Star Trek: The Motion Picture, but this time there's a voiceover telling you why it's cool.
Right.
Oh, yeah. By
Cloud's
the way,
going, it's got the
looks-
hottest fucking engine. Actually, I really like, there was one line where I think Barrett maybe was like, ooh, can we steal it? And Cloud was like, not unless you have a crew of people and like a degree in piloting.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that.
It's like, yeah, that's maybe that makes a lot of sense, actually.
But like the way that they frame the ship on the runway or whatever, it looks amazing.
It also it's the shot from if you had the original
It
2-disc
is.
set.
It is. It looks like
Yeah.
from the booklet.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, like there's an illustration of Aerith standing in front of the Highwind being docked at Junon that is very famous, and it looks amazing. They kind of recreate that here, which like was a great throwback to the original. I loved that. Loved it.
I'm tired.
So you
buddy.
make your way down through an elevator, and you're like, we need to get to Rufus, but we can't do it with Barrett and Red because they're non-human monsters.
We're going up
and so
through
we're
the
like,
elevator.
No, you go down.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. So
Oh,
we're
you're
like,
right.
the best way to Cloud is like the best way to infiltrate is to go through the parade. So we need to find some Shinra uniforms and learn the routine and do that, which is like the next
Yeah.
2 hours of our lives.
You know how when
And
you're a
learning how to do
terrorist and
this.
you're like, I want to see the president face to face. How can I do that? And then you think, I know, I'll steal some uniforms and then I'll pretend like I'm an army man, and they'll and we'll win the parade, and then they'll have to let us talk to the president.
That's how
And
the American
This is the
Revolution
stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Everything
But-
about this is
Yuffie
fucking
did ask us to
moronic.
assassinate him with her, which we sort of dropped. We were like, haha, of course we will, sweetie.
no, we don't
should have
agree
done
to
that.
it.
Why didn't we do that?
We don't agree to it.
No, well, we just kind of ignore it. That's what I'm saying. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I know.
That was
We
sarcastic. That was sarcastic. They're like,
Yeah.
because Barrett's like, what are you, a murderer? She's like, yeah, I'm a murderer. I'm here to murder him. And he's like, yeah, of course you are.
Yeah, she's like, I'm a ninja. Ninjas murder people.
Sure you are, sweetie.
Yeah, exactly.
Aerith is super
Oh, she's
into
the best
this.
ninja ever.
Aerith is super into this pretend to be a soldier plan. Like this
They're
is
so
Yes,
into it.
I
her
love how
dream.
into it she is.
And then, like, it
Aerith's
seems
into
like
all
we're
of
supposed
Cloud's
to be
ideas.
into, like, how well we did and proud of our troop, but it's like, we're going to kill them
It's
anyways.
weird. Yeah,
We're gonna
it's
murder
weird.
them.
Like it wants you to be like, I'm gonna do the best at this this Shinra parade. I'm a terrorist. Like, no, actually, I don't really want to inspire a bunch of people to love Shinra with my.
I
great
don't want to get
parade.
to know all these soldiers we're going to kill.
It's
or troops.
real. I
No,
thought
you really
this section
don't.
was really fucking stupid. I'm sorry. Oh, you don't murder them. Yeah, you don't murder them.
Yeah.
Well, you don't get to know them that
Well, you do. There's
Yeah,
the
you
five that tag
absolutely
along.
do.
with
And there are
find them in
several
different
shots of
situations.
Cloud like staring at the Shinra troopers with like shining eyes,
Yep.
as if he's thinking like, "What if? Like, I miss this. I used to be a
Well,
part of something, and now I'm a terrorist."
Cloud is a blank brain sociopath.
Smooth brain boy.
You keep saying that, but I don't think the game backs you up.
That he's a smooth
So-
brain boy?
He remembers things.
Smooth brain.
Not really.
He remembers things.
He does, well, like
He
before.
remembers all the unimportant things about
Yeah,
his life.
exactly.
Yeah.
In some
So
ways, it's
we
kind of
get
true
it.
to life. Like, he is an ex-soldier, and kind of like I felt like this implied pretty heavily, like maybe he kind of misses it. Maybe
Yeah,
he kind of
yeah.
wishes
Yeah, well,
he
like
was.
for anyone in the military, that's like serious mental condition.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I kind of appreciated how easily he fell into this whole thing. And being a soldier, he was a rank like probably multiple ranks above these infantry troops. So like I love that they gravitated towards him. I love that he knew how to direct them. It felt like a little more lived in. than like your average recruit this thing kind of.
Well, and I think it makes sense because, I guess spoilers for the original game, Cloud didn't necessarily leave because he wanted to, It's like, he wasn't like, it's time to retire, I hate Shinra. He's just like, life happens to him.
So we steal some uniforms and then immediately run into like a captain who's like,
the hot-ass captain?
Hot captain, who, by the way, like, why isn't Hot Captain leading this parade? Like, she's the best looking one of the bunch. Why is she not front and center?
She looks like my Commander Shepard from my first playthrough.
Hot Captain is like, you missed practice, so practice now so I can see if you remember. And then it makes you run through the parade thing a few times. And once you nail it, then she's like, holy shit. You're the best I've ever seen, and now you're in charge of the whole parades.
I love that there's like a little
it makes you do it again.
Lieutenant guy who's like, oh yeah, they did it real good. Like just a little cut guy hanging around. So the next thing to do is to explore Junon, but also you need to recruit all the 7th Infantry troops to be.
You have to recruit 5, and there's 10. I could only find 9. I spent a good hour trying to find the last one and finally just gave up because you only need 5.
I only found 7.
I found all of them, but it took a while.
I just don't. I can't imagine where the last one could have been, and I don't know how to describe which one the last one is.
Yeah,
so.
I didn't look it up. The last one I found was like taking pictures with a Rufus Shinra cardboard cutout.
No, I got that one, and then I stuck Cloud in there and took a picture. Because why not?
Yep. There's not like one that's particularly hard to find compared to the other ones. There's just a lot of them.
The last one I found was in the bookseller, which, by the way, like, so the bookseller, which is also like your skill board level up thing. Mm-hmm. Which for some reason I walked by it several times, but when you go in, there's like, it's all women are the employees, and when you walk in they all say like, welcome to Booktown.
Did you notice Upper Junon is a big mall?
Voice when you leave that's like, have a nice day.
Matt, did you notice Upper Junon was a big mall basically?
Yeah, it's real small, which I remember Junon in the original feeling much larger. Upper Junon, like several streets and blocks that you went through, and this is 2 streets. And really, one of them is an indoor mall street, and one is just like a block.
Yeah, there's like
one block.
This whole area is like a little Junon retail complex,
and not like a New York, not like a country block. Like it's a New York block. It's fucking 100 meters across.
It's a square block. Yeah.
So I did find all of the troops. It didn't take me that long. The last 2 I found were in the barracks. That was the last place. But there's one like up the steps towards the bar where a jazz band is playing. Maybe that was the hard one to find, or the one in Baldi's, the Bald Club for Bald Men.
Everybody got Baldi's. That one's obvious. I don't know. There was one I couldn't find.
Can we talk about the Baldi's? That's really the only important one.
That's true. Yeah.
I want to.
I mean, it's representation.
So anti this. It's amazing. You walk, you see Rude going into a bar, and
they do a weird. The bouncer is bald.
It's
as
amazing.
well,
cheesy and stupid,
and they do a little dance
like
towards each other.
When I had to sit through it, is that amazing? Is that what amazing means?
You walk in, and
well, hey, Vanessa,
you see
before you even walk in. Yeah, first of all, it's my people.
All right, are you going to sing the song? Do you have the lyrics
not your
pulled
people.
up to sing it?
It's not your people because they have clean shaven heads.
That's what I do.
And you do not.
Yeah, I do. I shave my head with a Bic. I did it like 2 days ago.
Go ahead and sing the song, Johnny, if you want to do it.
All right, shine, shine, we're gonna shine, shining bald all the time.
That's not how it goes.
That doesn't sound like it's the song. You did a bad job, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
And I'm not going to do it anymore.
No, Vanessa, please sing the song so that I can get mad about it again.
Sing the song.
Sky Thunder.
Sing the song.
Knucklebee, Knucklebee.
Yeah.
Buff it fine and make it shine, shine for everyone. Is the first line. And the second line is that's
Typically,
that
when
was
you're going
the
to sing
second
a song
line.
for us, you don't break the lines up by saying that
Shade.
was line number 1.
Let me try again.
Dude looks like a lady. That was
Shave
line
it
number
clean
1.
and make it
Oh
clean.
no!
Oh, Matt,
was
don't
line number
don't
2.
sing that song.
That's the first one that popped into my
I had it all
head.
queued up to do it in this video, and I've missed my shot. I'm sorry. The moment's over. I can't sing.
All right, good. I'm glad. I don't want to hear it. I hate it.
So go ahead.
This is a
Johnny,
bald
tell us more.
club. It's a bald club for bald men. You see.
You know what? I hate bald boys.
What?
Good.
But
I hate hair boys.
I got trapped in the Charlie Brown float, and that's why I hate bald boys.
is this a I think you should leave thing?
It is.
I drink too much wine.
I'm scared of how much I want wine.
All right.
Wine I drink.
My poops are black, purple and black.
So the
I thought we were over the I think you should leave jokes on
Reno.
this show.
So
We'll
Reno,
never
you see
be
Reno doing a weird like bit with this bouncer where they're rubbing each other's heads and like tipping their hats towards each other, and then they go inside. Everyone is bald. It was a very inclusive bald, like bald people, of
Men,
all-
women, children, pets.
but no bald beefy boys. I was like, where's the bald beefy boy? There's none. I was
Be the
sad.
bald
John, how
beefy
many
boy
beefy
you want to
boys
see in
have
the
you
world.
found in this game? Does
Barrett?
this game have good beefy boy representation besides Barrett?
Well, I mean, the first one had Wedge. I don't know. Yeah,
I'm
it's
talking
not.
about this one.
Oh, Zangan.
Okay.
Yeah, Zangan's pretty beefy.
And I can't wait to meet Dio, but how many more
Oh
chunkers?
man, has Dio
You talking
been
about Ronnie
spoiled
James
for you
Dio?
yet?
Yeah. I've seen Dio from the trailer.
Have
He's
you seen
huge.
Dio from okay. That was the one thing that I was really worried about not spoiling for this game is John's introduction to Dio, because Dio is a
Don't
fucking
talk about him.
mountain.
Yeah, we'll
The more
talk.
you
Well,
talk
well,
about him,
yeah.
the more you risk spoiling.
I
it.
know. I'm sorry.
yeah, we'll talk about it later.
But I was like,
How
Vanessa and I have
long?
had
How many
conversations
chunkers?
privately about, is this a Johnny boyfriend?
maybe how many chunkers are there till we meet Dio?
Next one we will.
What? Really?
Do you think so?
It's
No,
one
that's
after the
not
next
true.
one.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, yeah, two chunkers from now.
Okay. Well, I can't wait. I can't wait. Yeah, so it's full of bald people of all persuasions. I really like that it was an inclusive bald club, and it was very sweet seeing all the
I
baldies
like that they're
hanging
like,
out.
they said to Cloud, if you want to hang around here, you better be bald.
Yeah, he's got to take
love
off
that.
his helmet because now he's wearing a captain's helmet. So every soldier that you talk to, or sorry, trooper that you talk to, is like, "Captain!" Well, first they'll say something sassy to Cloud, and then the other person will be, "Did you look at his helmet, dude?" And then they're like, "Oh my God, sorry, Captain, sir!" And he's like, "Get
every
in
single
line." Every single time they're sassy to him, and then realize he's a captain. This happens 10 times.
I think Cloud is a good troop leader. actually
Except
does
he's
a really
not.
good job,
Except for inspirational speeches, he's not good at those.
Well, he leads by example.
That's true. He needs
The
he needs
example
a
is being
hype,
an amnesiac weirdo.
he needs a hype woman or two to really get himself hyped and the crowd going.
Yeah, so we'll get into this in the minigame corner, but there's a troop formation mechanic, a routine execution
it's
mechanic,
from the original,
and
right?
the results.
Yeah, this is from the
A
original.
little bit. You don't get the troop formation thing
No.
from the original.
It's expanded.
It's mostly.
I don't know
it's
what that
mostly-
did. I just went with the default. Like, I don't know what.
It does contribute depending on how many troops you recruit.
yeah, well, it's because if you get more combos of the same type of troops, like so, I
Yes,
had two.
exactly.
I had
It
a
wants you
score
to
of
put
two,
all
bonus
the
of
like
2.
troops together. Yeah.
And that also unlocks harder formations. So I got all 3-star dense formations to do.
Congratulations, John.
Yeah. And then I did it. I
Lame.
fucking did it.
Vanessa, I know, got the ultimate achievement here.
I was the best parade princess.
What's the ultimate achievement?
I think
it
you
called?
did
Same one
it
you
too.
got.
You just
Oh.
get 2 awards at the end instead
Yeah.
of just 1.
That's what I got.
Yeah. So we do that, and during the awards
Well,
ceremony,
I'll tell you what. I intentionally biffed it because fuck Shinra, and I don't
How
want
did
to be
it
the
go?
best boy at the fucking
Wow.
Shinra parade.
Matt's like punk rocking this shit.
I want to know how
And
it
it
went.
still gave me the fucking president's commendation
well, because he
because
was
he
wanting
knew
to
who
get-
we were.
Well,
He knew that you
Yeah,
were Cloud.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. So no matter how you do, Rufus calls you up to the podium to accept an award, and he knows who you are, which, like, good for him. And he says that no matter
There's a bunch of
what you
cutscenes
did,
that imply
like,
this.
we blamed you for blowing up all those reactors. Whatever. We'll let you go scot-free as long as you kill Sephiroth.
I
And
want a
Cloud's
Scott.
Like, that's what I was going to do anyway.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're trying to do in this whole game. So it's totally fine. Like, we're best buds now. But then, what happens?
You cut to
We cut to Yuffie.
and we have this weird
Who's-
mechanic where we have to like set ourselves up for a sniper shot of the president and time our throw.
Yes. I love this. It's kind of a throwback to Intergrade where you have to like maneuver Yuffie around a little bit, but her whole goal is to like totally kill Rufus Shinra.
Yeah, but she
So we
fucking
have to-
biffs it because she sucks.
Well, she only biffs it because of Heidegger.
Yeah, you know what?
Who
It
knows
turns
this?
out if you're a super secret sneaky assassin ninja, and then when you see your assassination target, you yell, "I'm gonna kill you!"
So I hadn't really been super
They are
surprised
less
in this game.
surprised than they could have been.
I hadn't been really super surprised in this game until this moment when there was like a foiled assassination attempt of Rufus Shinra. Like, he offered you amnesty, and then Yuffie tried to assassinate him, and then Yuffie's in your party. Like, it's
Yuffie's not in our
complicated.
party.
Yeah, but he
Well,
assumes
she will be.
Yeah, Rufus
Spoilers,
assumes
Jim.
that
Wait, oh my god, have you played the original? Don't
No.
tell me spoilers.
It's my first time playing a Final Fantasy game.
Oh my god.
Rufus
You're kicked
assumes
off the
that
podcast.
Yuffie is associated with you and that you were part of this assassination plot. And he's like,
Well,
your amnesty
Cloud does a
deal's
shit
off.
job. Cloud
He
does a
does.
shit job.
He
Like,
does.
he's talking to Rufus. He knows Yuffie's around to assassinate him. And I don't this was a very frustrating part of this game where your main character is just not saying the things that you would expect or that any reasonable person would say. He's just standing
agree.
there blinking and going, huh, huh.
He's not
and
a
not
reasonable
like,
person.
by the way, we did come here
disturbed.
because somebody was planning on assassinating you. Like, you could have very easily avoided this if your main character wasn't a dipshit.
I feel like I don't know. Yeah, I agree with you, Matt. I feel like Yuffie is like an agitator from like another country. Like, if
Do you feel like
Joe-
that, or is that exactly what she is?
that's exactly what she is.
Yeah.
Like, if,
Yeah, that's my point. Is that like he could have been like, no, that's a Wu Tai assassin. Actually, we came here because we knew she was coming, and we thought it
Like-
would like really fuck our whole thing up
Yeah.
if you got assassinated. But instead, he's just like,
Yeah, like if Greg Davies tried to throw a shuriken at Joe Biden during the State of the Union, this is kind of that.
Yeah,
same
and then I
thing.
would get blamed for it. You're right, Jim.
Exactly.
The worst part is that it's not
exactly.
even just
You
Cloud.
were-
Tifa
Vanessa, who aced the soldier parade, got called up to accept her award, and then right as she was accepting it, Greg Davies threw a shuriken from the rafters to assassinate President Obama.
cool.
and
Like,
then
you're gonna have to cut this
Obama-
because like you'll get us flagged. I don't need Secret Service showing up at my house. Thanks.
and then like that's the whole thing.
But it's so frustrating because it's not just Cloud that is just turns into a fucking mute idiot. Tifa and Aerith are also standing right there, and just
what-
nobody
what to
can
say?
muster the words. That's a Wu Tai assassin. That's all you got to say. That hey, that broad's from Wu Tai, and she just fucked us over, so we came up here, and like they didn't really come up to warn him, but like they could play it off. Like, any reasonable person could come up with a variety of things to say, and instead your three main characters are just like, yuck.
Yeah,
And
but at
it's
the same time,
dumb.
don't you think
it's
that,
not
like,
believable? It's
Rufus
stupid.
probably knows what's going on. You know, he's always 10 steps ahead of these people.
I feel like he's a little bit taken aback here, though. Like, I feel like he was really sincerely offering amnesty, and I feel like he felt really kind of betrayed by Cloud.
I like that he knew Cloud's whole deal, and Cloud didn't even know. He's like, oh yeah, I read your file.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, I guess I would chalk this up to just like, not necessarily like poor writing, but like lazy writing, where they just have to be like, well, we can't have the president actually give them amnesty, so we'll have him offer it, but then Yuffie will try to assassinate him, and everybody will get tongue-tied, I guess? We're shy now. We don't know.
I think it's good writing where you think like your main characters are going to get a one-way ticket to Easy Street, but then
that's definitely what I
away.
thought. That's 100% what I thought. The game was very convincing, and then I was like, yeah, this is it. They're going to be like, yep, you guys do whatever you want from now on. We're
Game
all
over.
cool.
Game over.
Yeah, game over.
Street.
All right, but
Raise
right
a
after
street.
this, we have to escape this whole situation, but also we are tasked
Yeah, you should
with
apologize for
protecting
that.
7th Infantry troops.
I'm no Tim Curry.
Which I love this little
I did like this.
kind of
Yeah.
mechanic.
So-
I wanted to protect those troops with my whole life. I'm like, I'm not
not
going to
hard.
let any one of
Just
you die.
heal them.
Yeah,
Just
me
heal
too.
them.
It's not hard.
Just heal them.
You can heal them.
Yeah.
People are constantly giving you heal your whole party potions in this section because they don't want you to let your soldiers die. I actually kind of wish I had let them all die. Like I just rolled back and stood at the edge of the circle and just let them all die. Just what happens?
Wow.
Fuck them, Vanessa. They're Shinra troops. I've killed 100,000 of them already.
They don't know what they do. They just,
They're
everyone works
Midgar
for
Shinra
Shinra
troops.
in Midgar. It's like
Okay,
the one
that's fair.
industry.
And that's why we let all those Nazis off the hook, because we were like, well, you were just following orders.
They grew up in this town. You know, it's like Shinra's been around since they were
Right,
born.
fair, Vanessa?
Well, not everyone. Some people were pre-Shinra, like a tattoo man and his friend up in the mountain that you have to go to.
These are old men. These are young men.
Oh, okay.
These are babies.
Right.
It's fine. They're just following orders. Right, Jim? Jim, I agree. All right. So we have to...
Oh, wow. Jim turned his lights to slut mode.
Mm-hmm.
It's been slut mode all night, John.
Oh,
Pay attention.
Sorry, sir.
You know, if there's one grumpy libertarian on this podcast tonight, it's Johnny Brandon, who has been barely paying attention and has had a real angry look on his face the whole time.
He's
Though
not
there was
angry.
a-
He smells something
There was a
bad.
period where he had like a real euphoric look, and I just kind of figured he was like scrolling through Grindr. Because he wasn't talking. He was just had a big shit-eating grin on his face.
At
Just
one point, I
looking off to
was
the
looking
side.
at cute dudes on the internet. That was probably what you're talking
I
about.
could tell. I could fucking tell.
Oh man. So is that it for the chunker? We get on the boat?
Well, we take the 7th Infantry
Oh,
soldiers.
yeah, there's a boss fight. There's a boss fight.
Yeah, we
need to
take them
talk about.
through, and then we have to fight Roche and
Well,
Jim
Vanessa,
Burton, all caps in the notes, try not to come, because that's
Yeah.
what this is, basically. It's an easy fight.
Plus,
Roche is a
Vanessa,
fucking,
tell us
Roche is
about
a fucking little
Roche
pushover.
and his Peaches haircut. Like, sucking on my titties like you wanted me, calling me
I have
all the
no
time like
idea what
Blondie.
you're
Peaches,
talking
peaches,
about.
peaches, 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 peaches.
Okay,
peaches,
there's
peaches,
a
peaches,
Canadian-
I
a horny-
love you.
Horny Canadian singer named Peaches, and she has
my version
Roche's
a lot better.
haircut. That's
Never
all.
heard of her. Never seen
She's great.
her.
He's got like an updo mullet thing
Yeah,
going on.
exactly.
It's not good. It doesn't look good.
I told Stan, I showed a video to Stan. I was like, Stan, I bet you'd like this. And he's like, no, this is the kind of music gay men played for me when I went to a gay bar. I was like, oh wow.
What did you think was going to happen at a gay bar, Stan? Stan, I'm going to ask you tomorrow when we play Dungeons and Dragons.
He just sassed me out for thinking that he'd find Peaches hot. He did not. So Vanessa, tell me about this Roche fight.
Roche fight is set in a special little arena that Roche has set up for their match.
They always are in special little arenas with Roche, right? Like we get the special little tunnel in the first game, and in this game we get the special little motorcycle sphere where he can drive his little motorcycle up and down the walls.
Did you have to fight
And all you have to
Roche
do is hit his
outside the
stupid ass with
factory?
lightning.
I mean, it was a big space outside the factory where you had to fight Roche the second time, right?
Yeah.
In the first game?
In the first game, remember? Because there's the
Yeah,
tunnel fight, and then there's
Yeah.
the outside.
Well, he's
Shinra
like helping
base.
you. He's like helping you with against Shinra
Oh, that's right. He was on your side that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
Okay.
he's like, let's be real, he is gay as fuck for Cloud,
And
which
this
I kind
time-
of like.
Yeah,
I wish
they're
it was
not
more
subtle about
explicit.
it.
I
Yeah,
kind
they're-
of wish
they're
that he
still-
was just like, "Do you want
they're
to fuck?"
still,
Like, just
like-
do it.
There's the type of gamers who be like, he's not gay. He never says anything gay. I'm like, well, he does read him poetry and then call him say that he's being a temptress, but he doesn't go out and say, I am homosexual. Would you like to
Right.
go to my place and have gay sex with me?
I mean, that's a line from Community that
Yes,
you
it
just
is.
said.
Yes,
Paul
it
F.
is.
Tompkins. Do you want to go to my house and have gay sex with me? No. Then why did you let me sit here and talk about Farscape for 2 hours? I really like Farscape.
Yeah, then he gets a drink thrown in his face. It's great.
He talks about how Cloud is his only and best friend, and he wants to express his friendship by beating the shit out of him.
Oh, Jim's back. Hey, Jim.
Hey,
I see you put a little
Jim
sweater
Ho.
on.
I've had this hoodie on all day.
I don't think so.
Is that
Is
your
that the
nice
cherry
hoodie that
blossom?
You put on
Is that your
'cause you
business
thought you
hoodie?
had a meeting?
This is my business hoodie I put on when I.
Where do you
thought
keep
I had an
disappearing
important
to?
meeting.
Jim's got the
I go to
hoodie.
the bathroom and also say hi to my girlfriend.
Jim has the hoodie on from Silent Hill: The Message. I don't know if
I do. I kind of do. These battles against other humanoid people are my favorite in the game because all of the like enemies you find in the field have really obvious elemental weaknesses. This one you kind of have to block and
Parry.
and I love when the game wants you to do that more.
I find it
But he's
difficult.
also isn't he weak?
I love the timing of it.
Oh no, you don't have to time. You can just hold down the button if you are in Punisher mode.
Oh,
Yes, in
right. I always
Punisher
forget to go
mode-
into Punisher mode.
Yeah.
Yes, in Punisher mode you can just hold the thing down. But like I love these fights.
Yeah,
They're my
I had.
favorite.
I mean, again, I was way over leveled, so I destroyed him
Me
in a couple
too.
of minutes. But it was still fun to see. And he's like, "Oh yeah, this is only part one. You haven't seen my true power." And he doesn't change anything, and he just comes back with his
Love that.
his
Yeah.
bike again. And then I just blow up his bike, and he's very
But
sad.
also, one of the things I appreciate
did
about
cut his bike.
this reimagining of Final Fantasy VII is you get more exposure to other soldiers.
Mhm.
You never really got that in the original, and I like that there's such a variation in what soldiers are good at and how soldiers are superhuman and
How
soldier
much each soldier
classes.
wants to kiss Cloud, which is a lot.
Yeah, like they all want to kiss Cloud. They're graded by the degrees in which they feel most uncomfortable about kissing Cloud.
I'd say
And
Roche
I love that.
gets a 10 on the wants to kiss Cloud, while
Roche is
Sephiroth
level
was like
10,
a
which
7.
Is like can barely contain himself from kissing Cloud.
Yeah. Sephiroth does want to kiss Cloud, but he still keeps his mind on the mission.
I feel like Sephiroth has kissed Cloud. You know,
Oh, you're probably
Like,
right. Yeah. I thought it was the first time they met.
Like one of the things I like about there's a lot of actually most things I don't like about the Final Fantasy VII expanded universe compilation shit. First Soldier stuff, I don't really care for all that, but I like that they put Sephiroth in that as like a young man as he's trying to figure out his shit because like he's mostly just like I want to pal around with other dudes in Soldier, which is kind of what he's doing with Cloud. It's one of the most consistent things in this whole Final Fantasy VII compilation character stuff.
that everyone
Are we
wants
still
to...
in Final Fantasy VII? Like, do you guys remember when Advent Children came out and they're like, we're establishing this Final Fantasy VII compilation universe?
Well, and they never.
then-
I think they never got past E.
Exactly, and then like 15 years went by.
It should be
and they're
Remake and
they're like,
Freebirth, or
maybe we'll
Rebirth.
redo Final Fantasy VII 1. it was real touch and go for like a decade.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
we defeat Roche, and
Kind of.
Because the more you dive into this stuff, kind of the worse it gets.
I don't know. Some stuff, the expansion makes it better, especially since the original was so poorly translated. Like getting to see better writing helps a lot. And I think
the more recent stuff actually fleshes out the world in a really good way. I
didn't need to know Chocobo Billy's backstory. That didn't add anything.
Oh well, I hope you're prepared for the rest of the game.
Oh God, no!
Because Cloud's gonna die and Chocobo Billy is gonna become the main character.
Oh, I was thinking about when's Leslie and his hat coming back.
I hope never. I really hope never.
Oh, Vanessa, she loved Leslie. She was like, I want to know more about him, his fiance,
Yeah.
what happened with. Well, I guess when Don Corleone gets killed later on, maybe that'll. I don't know if that's this. Well, don't.
Yeah,
tell me.
there's an orange that falls on the floor.
Yeah.
All right. So after this, Roche goes away. Says we'll meet again next time. We make our way onto the boat, and we're on our way to the
Next time I'll
continent.
bone you for sure, Cloud.
I think it's nice that he lets him go, and then your
Then
troopers
you have the
follow
sad-
you to like
yeah.
the boat boarding area,
Like a
and
dog.
they're like, and the troopers are like, "Well, goodbye, Captain. We knew you were the terrorist the whole time."
No,
And
they
salute
didn't.
him.
They're like because you're the assassin, right? And Cloud's like, well, I mean, I care about you a lot, and I regret any. And they're like, oh, just kidding, JK. The assassin was a lady.
They were just punking him.
But
so
he does
next time
have to
on
harry
Square
in the
Roots, we
Hendersons.
will-
Them.
Oh, sorry.
He has to be like,
Next time
go
on
away! I
Square
hate you,
Roots, we
troopers.
will
Leave me
Play
alone.
to the end of Costa del Sol.
Oh, I can't. I might finally get to ride on. What are those things called?
Segways.
Segway.
Wheelie.
They're called wheelies in the game.
Oh,
Wheelies.
okay.
It's not very. It's
All right,
honestly.
guys.
It's not. It's nothing. It's nothing.
Matt, what are you squarely against?
Oh, yeesh.
No, we're just not gonna talk about like Fort Condor or anything.
Yeah,
like that?
Fort Condor and Bow Wow
oh,
Wow.
goddamn. John's bullshit minigame corner. Matt, sing us in.
No.
All right, I'll sing myself in. John's bullshit mini game corner. Ooh, that hurt my throat.
Love it.
I'm
was
not
excellent.
good at that. Thank you. So,
You nailed it.
this minigame is called Fort Condor. If you do the Proto Relic quest, you get sucked into the game and you look like classic original Final Fantasy VII
It's
big
so
blocky boys.
amazing.
It's fucking
They look
fantastic.
like PS1 character models
I mean, they
rendered in
don't.
HD,
Yeah, they-
which look
no, they
fucking
don't.
incredible.
The lighting's obviously way better, but I loved it.
No, but,
they,
like, I'm
they
talking
look
about
like
the
the,
block
polygonal,
arms.
like chibi versions of the characters from the original game
no,
that
they
ran around the
are
overworld,
PS1
but they're
models where they have the block arms
Yeah,
and the
that's what I
shading,
just
where they
said.
have the gloves. It is incredible.
yeah, that's what I just said. But they clearly are like, it's not even just, it doesn't, it's inspired by that.
It's
like
very
it doesn't
cute.
look like it.
Yeah, it does. It looks a lot
I
like
think it looks like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it looks
I
like
thought
it's
it looked a
inspired
lot
by
like
it.
I mean,
Yeah, it looks like it was
it's
inspired by it.
almost-
It doesn't look like they took that shit from the original and jammed it in here.
No, but
and
it's
up-resed it.
Well,
like it's
not
completely
the exact
redone.
polygon,
But it's pretty close.
It's an HD version
Yeah.
of that.
It's a great-
I loved it.
Yeah. Oh, so you get
Great-
turned
great
into
callback.
little toy versions of yourselves, which
Yeah, you little toys.
every role playing game we've played where you get to be sucked into a game and be little toy versions of yourselves, from Kingdom Hearts to Fable to Oblivion, I think. Doesn't that have us sucked into a? Yeah, all these
Yeah,
games have
it
this.
did.
I love it every time.
It's
So-
delightful. It looks amazing. I hope there's a million more parts to this, because I hope all the rest of the proto relics in the other regions are like this, because I loved it.
I
And
don't
then you
know
get to play
why.
Fort Condor, which is basically the same game as the Yuffie
Yeah.
DLC from remake, but this time you have Cloud, Tifa, and Barret as like commanders that you can.
Yeah.
They're also like overpowered cards that you can pull out. Yeah.
It's kind of MOBA-ish a little bit, but I'm
It
bad
is
at it.
very MOBA.
I'm
It's
so-
like a,
why am I so
yeah, it's
bad
like a
at
lame
this?
MOBA.
Why am I so bad at this? Why did
It's
I
not easy,
fail
John.
a million
It's not
times?
easy. I had to retry it a bunch of times. It's not easy. Like maybe the first one is, but like it gets hard.
Yeah, I did the first two, but the
You
third
have
and
to do
fourth,
it
I had to put to
perfectly.
easy mode,
Oh yeah.
and
I had a
even
lot
then
of.
I
I
died
timed
few
out a
times.
bunch. That was my big problem.
Yeah, I did time out a
particularly the
lot.
last one
Oh,
where
me
I
too.
timed out
a
again and
bunch of
again
times, yeah.
because the
I don't
boss
think
had
I
so
ever
much health.
lost a game of Fort Condor. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Wow.
It's easy. You just gotta spam troops. Spam, 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 spam.
Well, I'm not that good at RTSs or MOBAs,
But you can't
Vanessa.
spam that many good troops in that amount of time.
Yeah, you
You
can't.
have to wait.
Unless you're playing on super easy.
Maybe that's the difference.
Vanessa hacked it.
Yeah, she hacked
Jim
it.
played on super easy too.
I turned
But
it.
I still had problems with this. What are you calling me stupid?
I did.
Yeah,
There is
yeah.
even
I'm
on
calling you
normal.
easy.
On normal, there. If you look in like the bottom left of the screen, there's like if you're having a hard time, click in the left stick and it'll enable easy mode. So I did do that, and that's how I finished it.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah,
I
I
guess
thought
I'm
it
the
was
only true
pretty
gamer on
tough.
this podcast because
Yeah.
I pushed my way through. I had to restart a few times.
Shit.
But it's pretty fun. You know, you just kind of have to. You can change your commanders, which are Tifa, Barret, and Cloud, and you can only have two, and they each match up to a different troop type. And the more
Yep.
you use a
which,
troop
which
type,
Which ones did you pick?
I honestly, Tifa and Cloud, and number 3 of the army, because you have 4 armies you can choose between. Number 3
Yeah.
of the armies. That is what got me through every fight. Every time I changed it, I lost.
Huh.
I
Did you have like a save commander? Like, did you ever get into a tight spot and have to drop in a troop? Like, was it hard? I guess is what I'm asking.
Yeah, I
Was
had
that
to
hard
restart a
for
bunch
you?
of times.
Okay.
Like I lost. It was for me. It was. I don't think I maybe once or twice, but I don't remember losing a bunch. But I timed out a bunch because if you
Right.
don't, you've got 2 or 3 minutes, and if you don't kill the enemy commander in that time frame, you just lose.
in number 3
and like
when
I
I was
would
playing
be
on
doing
normal.
fine.
Number 3 is tough.
In number 3, I was playing on normal. I had like a tiny sliver of health, and I was about to drop Cloud, and right as I did, and the commander died, I'd already gamed over, timed out. I was so mad.
Aw, that's a bummer.
It was frustrating.
The samurai from the Grasslands is in the board game as well. The one who was associated with the first proto relic.
Oh,
And he
what do you
is-
think that means?
I think it means that he's associated with all proto relics. And also, he's adorable. And at one point, he dresses himself up as a princess so you can rescue
Yeah.
him.
Also,
Oh,
like,
yoo-hoo.
did you guys recognize him?
Yes.
Is it Yo Jim?
Vanessa obviously did.
Is it the
Did
guy
you
with
guys
all the
recognize
swords?
Who this is?
I thought it was the guy
No.
with all the swords. So
Who?
Siegfried?
What?
Sagelmar?
guy?
All right, Jim's
He
gonna do
said
that
it.
thing
He
where he
said it.
tries to lead us on so he can spoil something.
Yeah,
Jim, why
but
don't you
Matt
stop?
doesn't know yet,
Stop
so-
talking. I don't
Yeah,
know,
that's fine.
so
No
I don't want to
reveals
know.
For Matt.
You'll get there. You'll get there eventually.
Yeah, I will.
There's
with all the
another
swords.
quest I want to talk about. It is a dog
Bow wow
escort
wow.
quest.
Bow wow
Yep.
wow.
Bow wow wow.
Bow wow wow. Bow
The-
wow wow. He's a good
one
boy
of
who
the
does
hooky,
his best.
one of the hookiest songs ever created. I think.
But
It
with so many great
slaps.
remixes in the Intergrade.
This has a great remix too. You're following
Yep.
this dog.
Oh, it's
and
great.
While you're following him,
whose name is Salmon.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
While
Yeah.
you're following Salmon, you get sort of like a sweet little version of the song. It's just like, bow, wow, wow, bow, wow, wow. And then when you get
Love
into a
it.
fight, like it switches to this like hardcore version of it.
Yes.
So, Bow Wow Quest, you have to escort Regina's dog to the crow's nest, which was
Yeah,
nice
his
because
salmon.
that gives you access to the crow's nest, which does have a whole new slate of Queen's Blood players to
Two
play
of them.
against after 3 of them. After
3?
Yep. After Junon, which under Junon has 3. And so
I never found the
Crow's
third
Nest
one
has...
Junon.
Well, they're on the map, so it's not hard to find.
The one is kind of hard to find. It's like up the stairs, up this very long staircase where the little twin boys are.
Okay, that's
that was the first one I ran into.
Because I had lady who's horny for Cloud, and then fisherman who's horny for Cloud. I didn't find this guy up the staircase.
It's 2 little boys. You have to play
Twins.
them both.
They're children.
And,
Vanessa.
Crow's Nest.
Those kids.
Crow's Nest has 3 more, which I really am enjoying Queen's Blood, so the more it lets me play that, the more I like it. And there is once you get to the Crow's Nest, you also can find a piano. Listeners will remember from episode 1 that I did not find
We don't really need to talk about that.
Tifa's
Yeah, we
house
do. Why not?
in the first chunker,
This is
so
fun.
I
No one
was...
cares
You
about the
know what?
piano.
It's boring. Yeah,
It's
nobody
a
really-
mini game, and it's
I was really
bullshit.
bummed
Wait,
out that I
hold
didn't
on.
get to play the
hold
piano.
on. Is Matt good at it?
I didn't know.
And
Matt,
I-
It
do you-
doesn't seem like piano
Matt-
would be something Matt would be good at.
Matt,
Why
do
not?
you like the piano game?
Matt, have you tried it?
Matt, do you love piano?
He's not going to answer because I know if he says yes, I'm.
I'm
gonna
so
move on.
annoyed because I'm trying so hard to talk about it.
We love
you
you,
fucking
Matt.
clowns won't shut up and let me talk about it. I just want to go to bed. It's 11:30 at night. Shut up. I
wanna see my
found the
Matt
piano
impression?
at the Crow's Nest, and I found the music for "On Our Way," and it is. I really like this piano mini game. I find it very addicting, and yes, I did get a star rating in "On Our Way" because I'm the
cool.
fucking best in the world, you clowns, and none of you are as good as me. I was sending messages to the group chat, the PlayStation group chat, as I was as I was progressing in this game. I was getting closer and closer, and I was like getting angry at it. And I was like, I think this is impossible. And then on my next playthrough, I got the star rating, and I sent it and said, "Unless you're me."
It is a really hard game, and I am very
hard,
impressed
so
that you've
hard.
done so well on it, Matt.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually pretty cool.
Yeah. I also just did, right before we started recording, the star-rated Tifa song. So I'm the fucking best in the world
Ooh,
ever.
I just got an emergency alert on my phone.
Oh, what's the
It's like,
emergency?
take BC Amber Alert, all of British Columbia, Langley RCMP, that's my area. The abducted male child is 3 months old. Oh, I hope they find him.
Go find him.
Yeah, we all hope they find him. Is this what we want to talk about on the podcast?
No, let's go. Let's keep moving.
So that's
Turn
John's
his
bullshit
camera
minigame
up.
corner.
Is he showing
For
home?
Matthew loves
Condor.
piano.
I feel like we should have talked about it for 10 hours. It was the
Yeah, it's-
best part of this chunker.
I was
Jim
terrible at it.
refused to
and so was
talk
Jim.
about it and made us put it here at the end. And it's too bad because it's fucking fantastic.
It is delightful.
Look at Vanessa with her phone right in front of the camera, just insulting us all.
So
Check in to
next
see
week
if
we're
they're on
playing
the
to the
camera
end of Costa del Sol, which is what, by the
yeah.
way?
Next chunker is
Costa
the
del Sol
end.
just the beach region, or is it the once it opens up region?
It's the entire town.
Okay, well the town. So it's just
Well,
that we're
so
just doing the
next-
mini games and shit, and the fight on the beach.
No. Next chunker is the ship on the way to Costa del Sol, and
Yeah, no shit.
Costa del Sol to the end where you can move beyond it. So it's chapter 6.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about the region stuff too. Because there's lots of
Okay.
stuff.
There's a lot to unpack when you get to Costa del Sol.
I got to before we started recording. I got to Costa del Sol evening. If that tells you anything, I did the beach fight.
a little bit later.
Okay, that's fine.
Wait,
like
you
I'm
did the
I'm
beach
down
boss
for that.
fight?
Yeah, I did the beach boss fight. It looks
Oh,
like
that's
the
the
region's
chunker.
gonna open up next. I think, and I
will.
like I haven't been able to do Chadley stuff yet. So
Yeah, there's Chadley
Okay.
stuff. There's
So the next chunker will play to the point where Costa del Sol region opens up.
or
I think we should talk about the
ends?
open region too. Yeah, I think we should play till
Really?
till we arrive
Yeah,
at the
the-
mountain pass.
the town is just
Okay.
mini games.
So-
it's nothing.
so
it's mini
we're-
games and a
we're-
boss fight.
So next chunker will play to the ascent of Corel Mountain.
Yeah.
I guess.
Jim thinks that the Costa del Sol town is longer than it is because there's a lot of Tifa boobs, and so
He gets
time
to-
slowed
yeah.
down
Well-
for him.
I mean, I was always jacking off.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not when you put her in that bikini?
Your wife will hate this game.
Try not to come.
Try not to come.
All right, so
You will
Matt,
last 30 seconds. In Costa
Matt,
del
what are you
Sol.
squarely against? I didn't like that. I didn't like the parade section. I just don't. I don't like that mini game. And here. I'll tell you what. I liked it in the first game because it was that great Honeybee Inn scene. So even though I didn't like the mini game so much, the scene itself was amazing. What a delight. And then this game repeats it, but it's the most boring thing that's ever happened. Like you're on the flag troop, you know? You're in the color guard for the fucking Shinra army. It sucks, and I didn't fucking like it. And that's how I felt about it. I'm squarely against it. I think it sucks. I don't like this mini game where the button trails through the. Oh my god!
I did, but I don't want to. I'm not gonna. You know what? I'll save it till mine.
Vanessa just grabbed a stuffed animal with a fucking hook on a stick and then brought it up to her. And I just.
But it's a Snorlax. I love She knows I love Snorlax. My favorite Pokemon.
Anyway, I didn't care for it. Like, it's not bad. And thankfully, the game doesn't seem to really punish you. But I don't like it. Like, I feel like it's not intuitive. Vanessa, what are you squarely against?
I am squarely against how slowly the mountain chocobos climb up the walls. It's not necessary
So
to
slow.
slow us down that way. We can understand the concept of them like putting effort into climbing up the wall and
Yeah, it's
still
weird.
have them go fast.
Well, but also, like, why do we need to have the concept of them put it like they're chocobos? They're fast and light. Why would it not just speed up the wall? That would make a lot more
Remember
sense and
in
be
the
more
original
satisfying.
when they would just like sprint over every like thing on the map.
Yeah, the mountain ones could just like go over the mountain like
Well,
pixels.
like the gold chocobos could just do anything
Yeah.
it wanted them to. I like that it's a little bit more grounded in this one.
But it doesn't make for good gameplay, which
Yeah,
is
you're right.
a big complaint that I've mentioned in previous installments of this
So
of this
what would have
season.
been the better version of that?
It runs up the wall fast, like it does everything fast because the
So
chocobo's
we're just
really
doing it
fucking
faster.
fast. Yeah, you know, like why is this game constantly slowing me down? It feels like they padded 10 hours into this game by just making things real
You're right.
slow.
Yeah, you're right.
And it sucks.
There are a lot of
Also,
like
like-
slow walking segments.
Yeah, also like how do you in a video game tell a story without that? You got to give space to like have a story be told in a way. I don't know. Most games aren't good at doing that.
You know,
You
I mean, it
feel
already
like
does
it's like
that
a
with
storytelling
cutscenes.
element to climb the wall really slowly.
I know you guys don't like those God of War games, but the best version of that is playing God of War Ragnarok when they tell that story at your own pace and you're doing it all at the same time.
This isn't at your own pace. It is arbitrarily slowed
It's
down.
at their pace. Yeah, it's at their pace. Yeah. All right. Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
And also, they already do this, Jim. They're called cutscenes. There's a million of them in this game.
That's how we met Glenn Rothrock.
Johnny, is that what you're
Glenn-
roundly for, Glenn Lothrock?
Jerry Rothrock.
I don't know. Matt, who's next?
Well, I'm...
Me.
Yeah. Why don't you ask Vanessa, the person who's going now?
Oh,
So my turn.
I already went.
She's too busy fingering the fucking camera, so I don't
I'm
I
pointing
don't know.
at
Have
Jim and
you
Johnny. I'm giving you your options, although probably not from your
Oh.
perspective.
Yeah,
Nobody
it's not
can
in the same-
nobody can
Yeah,
see it like
that's
that.
not the same.
it's a different order.
configuration. Johnny, have you gone?
No. I
Go ahead,
am.
Junani.
I am roundly for that the parade. I had fun, although I did cheat because I just paused when I was about to hit a button to look up what buttons I needed to push on the screen. Like I paused and I was
That's
like, okay.
a good way to do it.
I think Tracy from our our Facebook group chat told us how to do this. I was like, yeah, that's a great idea.
Spoiler ass Tracy. Do you guys want to take a minute to talk about how Tracy was like spoiling shit from later in the game in the chat this week, and I was really annoyed about it?
No, I'll cut that.
Tracy, can you fucking not, please?
No,
well, later
cut
in the
that
game,
out.
we learned that Aerith's really in love with Zach. Okay, that's cool. I'm glad that I got to play that for myself.
Also, that's not this game. That is multiple other games.
Anyway.
Like Crisis
Well,
Core,
I'll tell you
that's
what
a
it's
big plot
not,
point.
Jim. It's not Final Fantasy VII, the original game, where Aerith and Cloud are clearly in love with each other, and that's the whole thing, is that they've got a fucking like burgeoning romance, and then she dies, and that's what's so fucking powerful about her death. And now instead, this time it's going to be like, oh, just this girl he knows died. Like, cool. It's going to be really powerful. And then probably it's not going to happen, and maybe they'll kill Cloud instead.
Jim, what are you roundly for or squarely against?
Thanks, Tracy.
I am roundly for the room this game gives Junon. I liked exploring Junon.
What room is it?
No,
Is it
I like
like a
the
sex dungeon room?
between under Junon and upper Junon. When you play these remakes, I didn't expect Junon to be a whole region. So that's what I'm roundly for.
Jim, why don't you tell us about our Patreon?
At our Patreon, which is patreon.com/squarespodcast, we have so much bonus content. This month we did you know what? I'm really proud of us collectively. We all played Silent Hill: The Short Message, and we have a lot of other content on our Patreon. We have movie commentaries, we have Square Roots Versus, we have Scare Roots, we have Square Roots Level Up. That's all.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to be playing Tacoma.
Yeah, this month we are playing Tacoma, which is on, I think, every major platform for at least $20.
Yeah, it's on everything.
It's a good grab.
Yeah, we have random games.
I'm getting on G2A
If you want
for 80
access
cents.
to all that great content, you can get it at the $3 tier. At the $5 tier, you get access to all that great content, plus the ability to vote on the games that we play on the show. The next game that we play after Final Fantasy will be a vote. I don't know whose vote it is. We'll iron that out in the group chat.
Hey, so I just want to say, now that the Max Fun Drive is over, thank God, it's time for the Matt Fun Drive. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I thought I'd ride on the coattails of the Max Fun Drive. It's time for the Matt Fun Drive. Send us money, please. Money, please. John, you're the only person on this show that really gets me. I want to talk to you listeners about sending me personally some money, because I need some money, and that would be cool. So if you could just send me some money, and I don't know, I'll take a picture of my feet for you. Just whatever it is you're into.
How about if there's a line of cupcakes and you accidentally, quote
Matt,
unquote, step on each one?
Show hole.
No, show feet.
I'm not going to show whole, Jim. I'm a wholesome individual. Thank you very much. Anyway, Matt Fun Drive. Money, please. That's the tagline. And
All right,
I don't know. I don't have anything else to add to
I'm
that.
sure
Just,
that was the worst
do
sales
it.
pitch you've ever heard for our Patreon. But if you decide to...
That had nothing to do with our Patreon.
Remember at the beginning of this episode where Jim was like, Matt's going to be so drunk
But
by the
if
end of this
you
episode, and now he's
decide
slurring his
to,
words.
subscribe to our Patreon.
Me
the
too, buddy.
main
Don't worry.
Benefit is that
both
we
of
like
us.
to thank, we like to personally thank some of our patrons every episode.
I mean, we don't
Matt,
like
why don't you
to.
kick us off?
We feel obligated to.
No, I like it.
I'd like to thank Mike, Julia Zanella, That One Guy, Aaron Nerd, Violence Little, Littell, whatever. Simu Mitchell, Ryan, Soy Soda Pop, Zachary Smith, Justin Benoit, Justin Ham, the Twisted Duke of Lorraine, and DP 2099.
I'll thank friend of DeSoto Aaron O'Toole, John B. Quaker Oatman, Cloud wants to go to haunted house more than Aqua. Miguel,
That's 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 name.
Miguel Torres, Mr. Mallard, Dr. Phil the shoutouts with references to scoot stains, at least it perturbs Jim, Taiwan Gordon, Vanessa Fan, that's me, Go Cry Wolf, Pad Kid poured curd pulled cod, Eduardo Franco, and Chief Hazard.
Wow. Nice job.
I'd like to thank Icy Wieners, Hudson Rock,
Yeah, you do.
Seth G, Jake Dickerson, Gammon, Nick, Ethan G. Pearson is dreaming of a Dr. Steven Stone 5-hander to completion. Vanessa's fourth mom, Dylan Rice, Tracy the Board Queen, and Hassandi.
I'd like to thank Doom Train. How would I pronounce Kiao Min Mosser?
I think it's Chowen.
Chowen Mosser, Spoony Bard, David Shook, Kevin Shipley, Do Good Recklessly. Brian Stone.
That's like Cameron.
Cameron Mosser.
It really is.
Okay, yeah.
No, I'm going to look it up now.
Cameron
No, let's look it
Mosser.
up.
The Husbands Jennings, Michael Crawford, Stephen Kroc. It makes me uncomfortable to hear my name read on a podcast. PJ Enns, Jordan O'Boyle, and Hexagon.
Oh, when I Googled it, I found how do you say Kevin in Irish?
Kevin. Kevin.
Maybe it's Kevin.
All right, everyone. That's it
Yeah.
for this episode.
It's the Irish version of Kevin.
If you'd like to
I
have
love
an
it.
email read on the air, you can email us at squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Come see us at our Facebook. God damn it.
You can do it, buddy. Just
Facebook
work through
group,
that Jim
the
Beam.
Square Roots Podcast group for smart, cool, very attractive people. Or find us on Blue Sky at squarerootspod.bsky.social.
Vanessa checks it every hour. Please rate,
Every
review, and
hour
subscribe
on the hour.
on iTunes, Ghana, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks, Stephen Morris, for our Square Roots theme. You can find Stephen on Twitter as Beige on Beige and on YouTube. Links in the show notes.
Let's give a big shout out to Vanessa, who is still critically injured and somehow is making it through these fucking episodes, which I don't even know how I'm doing it.
It was a
only with the
little
help of
tough.
alcohol. Yeah, it was a long one.
Actually, I had a long nap today because I got worn out with physical therapy, and that helped me get through the show. So
That's great. Also, check out our streams. What is our YouTube?
Square Roots Podcast on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like
there's two of them,
Square
so
Roots
congratulations. Good luck.
698
Best of luck to you. Well, check out our streams. Currently, Jim and I are playing Final Fantasy VI. We're planning on wrapping it up this week, the week that this episode airs. So, and after that, Jim is going to play Chrono Trigger. Find us on YouTube, Square Roots Podcast.
Okay, bye.
That's not how we end the show. For the Square Roots Podcast, I'm your mother.
I'm nasty.